Where are the low-value men?
The hijacker's passport was found blocks from the World Trade Center crash site. You can believe that. You can believe that. You can believe that.
Contracted COVID, but says with a mixture of medicines, including the controversial horse dewormer that has poisoned hundreds of people nationwide, he's now recovered.
He was the best guy around.
What about the people he murdered?
What murder?
From the headlines to the whispers dark, low value mail, we'll get tomorrow. Low value mail at 9 o'clock. We're truth and fiction take a walk.
Why don't you swear on the Bible that you walked on the moon? You're a coward and a liar and a thief.
Our stories are.
Hot dog, everybody. Hot dog. Welcome back to an all-new episode of Low Value Mail on this Monday, May 26, 2025. Memorial Day. Sorry, I just had to turn down my headphones. They were too loud. Happy Memorial Day to all who celebrate. And I just learned what Memorial Day is today. To be honest, I was like, is it a flag thing or is it a military thing? It's both. So those of you who have served in America, not interested if you served in some low-rent third-world shithole army. No, thank you. I do not thank you for your service. But we got a banger tonight. We're doing open lines. Being as it's a holiday, we're having a tough time finding a guest on the show. So we're just doing open lines, and that's just what it is. Someone's calling right now. The phone lines are not open. I know you want to talk to me. You will get your chance. But we're doing open lines all show. I won't be doing an extra half an hour for like the super chat thing, just because there's no need to do an extra half hour when we're already doing 2.5 hours of open lines. But I will be giving a super chatter, one of you, a 6-month Patreon membership, should you be inclined to do so. It's always appreciated. You get all sorts of stuff, ad-free videos and audio, which is nice if you are a video watcher, listener of the show. I'll also be giving away $500 cash once I hit 500 subscribers. So check that out. Also, if you want a 6-month Patreon membership, but you don't have any money at all, tough economy. This is Joe Biden's economy right here. You can go on as long as you don't have an Instagram account currently. All you got to do is there's a link below in the description. Go sign up for an Instagram using that link. It takes 30 seconds, maybe a minute. Maybe they have some sort of confirmation. I don't know. It takes a minute. Many of you have done it so far in the last week, probably 25 of you. So go do that, sign up, and then just DM me, and I'll send you a 6-month Patreon.com membership premium, which fun little thing that some of you may not know, but Patreon has kind of like a live chat feature in it, which it's one of the few I actually am one of the few live chats, or it's kind of like a group chat with everybody on Patreon, but I am in it, and I'm people can attest. I am kicking around in there. So go check it out. We share a lot of racist memes. And by we, I mean 3 specific people. You can guess who they might be. Also, this Instagram thing's only available for like another 10 days. So if you're on the fence, just go do it. Just go do it. And if you do have a Patreon membership and you don't have an Instagram account, just go sign up. I'll give you an extra 6 months. I want my $100 from Instagram. I don't know what the hell they're doing, but for some reason they're doing this. So help me, help myself, help you. All right. Today's not only Memorial Day, it's another holiday. It is the George Floyd 5-year anniversary, the 5th year anniversary of the untimely passing of Saint George Floyd. Boy, how time flies, huh, guys? Really flies by. I remember just like it was yesterday, protesting racial injustice by looting my local Target. I got so many Apple Watches and so much baby formula. It was a good time. Man, those were crazy times. You almost think you could probably in some weird way draw like a direct line from all the craziness of the George Floyd protests to less than 5 years later, the United States accepting and fast-tracking white South African refugees. It's not like I almost think like if it wasn't for the George Floyd, we wouldn't have had maybe the appetite for certain people in this country to do such a thing. And I will say this just to be clear. I don't know if I've, because a lot of stuff with the George Floyd has been going around today. And, a lot of stuff has come up in the past. I know a lot of you probably are on the side of George Floyd only died of a fentanyl overdose and nothing else. I personally am not in that camp. I know some of you will disagree with me. I know he had very high levels of fentanyl in his system, but I can almost guarantee you that it was not much higher or even lower than our boy Chris from Dallas had last week when he called in talking about doing fentanyl. Because the thing, if you use fentanyl, I'm actually curious because obviously when you use fentanyl, you develop a massive tolerance to it. So you could have high levels in your system and it could necessarily not kill you. I wonder what like the longest using, like who's the oldest fentanyl user in the world? There's probably some old ones. You probably can't go too old. Maybe there's a question for Chris. I don't know. But, I think of it from kind of a logical standpoint, whereas, would George Floyd still be alive today had he not had that interaction? Maybe, maybe not. I don't know. But he probably wouldn't have died on the day he did without having that police interaction. That's at least my thoughts on it from maybe a first principles standpoint. There was, it was an ingredient. It was an element of it, certainly. You do have to admit some absolutely incredible stuff came out of it. It was our, I don't know if it was our first indication that the COVID hysteria stuff was bullshit, but it was a big one. It was a big one. Specifically when the government was like, you cannot be in a large crowd unless it's to protest police brutality and racial stuff. And then we're like, wait, can you be in a large crowd or can you not be in a large crowd? And they're like, you can be in a large crowd for this one thing. Just this one thing. That's it. We got that incredible photo of Nancy Pelosi, Chuck Schumer, many other politicians wearing some African garb while kneeling for a moment of silence. Which, if you haven't seen that photo, I don't have it pulled up. This is low value mail. This is not high value mail. I don't have it pulled up. Even though I did have a video last week, I could have had it pulled up. I just didn't. It's what I'm talking about. But they were kneeling, which, by the way, because I know Colin Kaepernick, he kind of popularized the kneeling in protest, but them kneeling for George Floyd, you would think is a little tone deaf. The guy was kneeling on his neck. Is there another thing we could do to show our support that's not doing the same thing? It kind of reminds me of that Bill Hicks joke where he's like, Christians, they wear, chains with like necklaces with Jesus on a cross. And if Jesus ever came back, he'd be horrified. I was like, that's what you're using? But, it seems like this was all for naught for the most part. By all accounts, Minneapolis is more dangerous after trying to reform their police department. Turns out getting rid of police in crime-ridden areas, not a great idea. Not the best idea if you have a high crime area to have less police. I mean, at the time, seemed like a great idea. I mean, they had just burned. Remember, they burned down that police station, and then they had the guy on CNN where it was like fiery but peaceful riots. You go, this doesn't seem particularly peaceful. Everyone's posting black squares on Instagram. Still proud of myself for not giving into that dumb shit. I do miss I miss that I wasn't in New York during the George Floyd stuff because I was in Miami just watching it all, and I'll go, man, that would have been fun stuff to see. It's funny, the differences, because obviously New York, super liberal. It was a huge deal in New York. They had the protests and everything, all that stuff. Miami, when it was going on, they didn't really give a shit. I remember there was like the day it happened, there was like one thing, and it was pretty minor in comparison to more liberal liberal cities. But interesting thing, I don't know if anybody has ever watched or seen this, the All the Smoke podcast, but it's a former NBA player, Steven Jackson, and Matt Barnes. And he's a podcast host now. But he was friends with George Floyd. And he actually claims, because he knew George Floyd for a long time, and there was a question to go, is there anything about George Floyd you'd want people to know that they didn't know? And he said that he wishes everybody knew that George Floyd, in fact, never did point a gun at a pregnant woman's stomach, but instead took the charges for someone else who did. Which, again, you got to chalk that one up in the good guy George Floyd column right there. That's a stand-up guy right there. That's a good dude, right? Like if one of my friends stuck a loaded gun into the stomach of a pregnant woman, I surely would not go to jail and admit to that. But that's because I'm an unethical piece of shit. George Floyd was a good dude. He said, hey, you probably have a very long rap sheet. They're going to put you in jail for maybe 20 years. They'll only put me in jail for like 3 or 5 years. So I'll just take one for the team here. So, you know, a lot of you think George Floyd's a bad guy. Would a bad guy do that? That's an upstanding citizen right there. Do you have friends like that? Are you a friend like that? I don't know. It was nice to find out that, and obviously we all know now that the whole Black Lives Matter thing was bullshit. It was funny at the time, though, how people would put you still see them. It's like this weird vestigial tale. It's like a remnant of another crazy time, because there's certain businesses that they just in their window just have this faded, super faded, like sun-damaged Black Lives Matter poster in their shop window, right? Because at first there were some people who were like, yeah, I really mean this. And then it was like, hey, this is a good trick if you don't want some random people smashing your window and looting your store. Like it was like this, you had to basically join Black Lives Matter. You don't have to like formally join, but you just have to, you have to just give them their reverence, I guess, just because you're like, I'm like a independent business and I don't have good insurance, so if you guys could just not break into my business and steal all my shit or smash all my windows, and they just put these Black Lives Matter stuff in their window. And then that must be a tough decision, it's kind of fading out right now, and it's like, do I replace it? Do I just get rid of it? I mean, they're not going to smash my windows anymore. I'm safe on that one. Are you going to have some customers coming in and be like, yo, what happened to the Black Lives Matter sign? It was there yesterday. It's gone today. And you go, kind of faded, and I just didn't replace it. I mean, I only put it up because I didn't want to get my window smashed. By far, my favorite part of the reaction to the George Floyd stuff was cultural. By far. Uncle Ben's rice became Ben's original. We lost Aunt Jemima. This is, by the way, when they talk about black erasure, this is the definition of black erasure. These were two super famous cultural icons, Uncle Ben and Aunt Jemima. The guy was on half the rice in this goddamn country. You think it should be an Asian person on the rice? No. It was Uncle Ben and Jemima, and we lost them. And there were others I didn't even know about. I remember there's Land O'Lakes. That was one, the butter. And then they just removed the Indian chick. And you go, okay, what does that do? Phone lines are not open. The phone lines will be open shortly. Stop calling. Eskimo Pie had to change their name to Edie's Pie. I didn't know about that. But I will not be supporting them. Mrs. Butterworth was erased. It's crazy that there were two black woman syrup icons. Absolute icons of the syrup game. If you literally think syrup, not maple syrup, it's that shitty processed fake maple syrup. But if you think about it, you go, I think a black woman, a refined, very pleasant, nice black woman. And they go, no, we're out. Now when you think of syrup, these table syrups as they call them, I just think of diabetes and high fructose corn syrup. Is that what we want? They almost actually didn't know this. They almost took the black chef on cream of wheat away, but he was spared because he's just a black chef. Contrary to some of your opinions, black people can be chefs. There's nothing wrong with that. We live in a society where a black person can be a chef. You can be a chef. It's fine. You can, and they said they probably agonized over these meetings too. They probably had meetings all fucking day, and they would flip on their TV and CNN and Minneapolis is burning down. They go, this is a pretty important decision we're making right now, whether we keep this black chef. And it's one of those things where like, you don't know. You go, what if we remove him and then more people are mad? What do we do? Do we try and hire Snoop Dogg and replace him with Snoop Dogg? At least, Snoop Dogg will do anything for money. Would that placate people? There's tons of shit that had to be renamed. The Washington Redskins, Cleveland Indians, even the Edmonton Eskimos of the CFL, which is one of my favorite ones. I was joking about this when I was in Edmonton, because the Edmonton Eskimos of the CFL, Eskimos is not really a derogatory term. There's many people who are like of that Inuit thing where they go, yeah, it's not a derogatory term at all. But the Edmonton Eskimos had to have this tough decision where they go, a black man was murdered. And this is the most Canadian shit ever, right? A black man was murdered. I know some of you are like, he wasn't murdered, but this was the tone at the time. A black man was murdered in a different country. We have to change the name of our Canadian Football League team now. And they did. And again, this stuff wasn't just in the U.S. Canada is some of the most embarrassing stuff with all this, because Canada has this thing where they're very much like, oh, especially with all like, the 51st state stuff going on, the elections, and everybody's like, yeah, Canadians' identity is they're not American, which is not an identity to have. But they say that. A lot of they say our identity is that we're not American. But then when stuff happens in America, they instantly react like it happened there. Like when the Uvalde shooting happened, the next day, they were like, there was a shooting in the southern part of the United States, and they go, okay, we need new gun laws. You're like, that's a different country. I get that you border it, but Canada just does all this embarrassing shit all the time. In Toronto, they had to rename Ryerson University to Toronto Metropolitan University. They renamed Dundas Square, which for those of you who know, is basically like our low-rent version of Times Square. It's a really shitty version of Times Square. They renamed it to Sankofa Square, which is a word originating from Ghana. Canada doesn't have particularly many people from Ghana. Doesn't even make any sense. This Dundas dude, who's named after, there's a main street in Toronto called Dundas Street, and then there's like a highway. It becomes like almost like a highway. It goes for like, I don't know, 150 miles. It's long. And they're like, we got to rename this massive street just because this guy who was from like Scotland or something wasn't anti-racist enough in the 1800s. You know what kind of pain in the ass if you live on that street and they just were like, we're renaming your street? You know what kind of nightmare that is? We have white voice actors. By the way, if you're wondering why I'm going through all this, I'm trying to make a comprehensive list. So if I missed any, you can call in. Let me know what I missed, because I just would like to have a list. I like making lists, as you know. They basically said white voice actors were not allowed to voice non-white characters. So that meant we lost Apu from The Simpsons. So can anybody confirm? Because I haven't seen The Simpsons since George Floyd. George Floyd died, and I go, I can never really watch The Simpsons again. I don't think I can ever laugh again. But did they replace Apu with an actual Indian guy, or is just the character gone? I believe he's just gone. But the thing is, there was nothing racist about Apu other than the fact that he spoke like an Indian person who was new to the country. Like, he wasn't doing a caricature of an Indian person. That it was a pretty spot on impersonation, right? Like, pretty good. He didn't have any racist stereotypes. It wasn't like Apu was like, oh, I got to go take a shit in the street or something. They weren't doing that to him. He was like a small business owner. They got rid of Cleveland from Family Guy because the guy was white who did Cleveland. They even took my favorite show, Cops, and then Live PD, which is not as good. It's pretty good. They took all those. What was the one? The kids show, Paw Patrol. They took Paw Patrol. I imagine Paw Patrol's back. That's like how just soulless and just like the people who are behind these things, they don't give a shit about anything other than making money. Like Paw Patrol was like, oh, this is a bad look. We have a dog that's a cop for kids. And they go, we'll just take this away. And then let's see, actually, did Paw Patrol ever come back? Did we get Paw Patrol back? Paw Patrol. Looks like it's still on. That's what they do. They just go, oh, shit's hot right now. Let's just say we're canceling Paw Patrol. And then when it dies down, they go, Paw Patrol's back, everybody. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. But it is amazing how mass hysteria and power of crowds can really make entire societies just do the stupidest shit. Like, I still, we're not quite in the fog of war of this anymore. We're obviously out of it. But like 20 years, we'll look back and be like, you had to change the name of the Edmonton Eskimos. That was dumb. That was dumb. And look, none of this made anyone's lives better. Nobody's, except for maybe some black voice actors. Some black voice actors won. Everybody else is just go same or worse. Probably same or worse. All right. Phone lines are open, everybody. Do we got Mark here? Mark is here. Oh, we even have people on the line. Okay, cool. We'll get to them very shortly. And it's open lines tonight. We can talk about whatever you want. We can talk about those two people killed at the Israeli embassy, any good conspiracy theories that you might have. Crazy shit going on with the world of AI right now, which is actually really insane. I don't know if you guys have been following Google's new VO3 thing, but it is pretty fucking wild. Before I take a call, though, please like and subscribe to the channel. If you are an audio listener, make sure to follow the podcast, leave a review. If we hit the super chat, oh no, we're not doing that. And also, if you want to support the show, you can do so. Patreon.com/lowvaluemail, MAIL, $5 a month. Gets you all sorts of stuff. Or just use the Instagram link below. Make an Instagram account. I know Instagram's gay and stupid. I get it. It's for girls. I understand that. There's literally right now on Instagram in my algorithm, there are fake Down syndrome OnlyFans influencers. It is deplorable, depraved, delicious. I don't recommend you go on there if you don't use it, but just go make the link. Just click the link, make an account, go over to Instagram, send me a DM. I'll give you a Patreon membership. Everybody wins. Everybody wins. God willing, new episode of The Bathhouse tomorrow night. Like I mentioned last week, we're probably changing studios, Boyscast Studios. So, but I'm going to figure something out more permanent, and we'll probably just be done with the stand, unfortunately, because it's not. But for the next couple months, we just got to tough it out with what the stand has to offer, and then I'll have a more consistent weekly thing going forward. And then finally, if you are in Calgary, Alberta, the great sovereign nation of Alberta, come catch me at the Laugh Shop, June 5th to 7th. I will be there. Connor Dog might be there too. Won't that be something? Land O'Lakes is margarine. No, Mr. Chef from South Park, Mark says. No, that was before. That was over Scientology. Chef was way before George Floyd. All right, let's get to the phone lines. Phone lines are open, 1-888-949-2969. We have Jesse from Canada. First up. Jesse, are you there?
How's it going, Danny?
What is happening, man? Happy Memorial Day. You'll be celebrating it soon, so you should learn about it.
Yeah. I was just stuck with a task that was not very well suited to a low-value male like myself.
Oh, what was the task?
I had to carry the washing machine down or up from the basement.
God damn it.
Washing machine down. Landlord was nice enough to bring me a new one, but then he poses the question in front of your girl, can you help me take the old one out and bring the new one down?
Oh, at least you had some help, though. I mean, probably the easiest thing, if you're taking it from downstairs to upstairs, I would think, is on a dolly and then just fucking drag that thing up the stairs. But I guess you got to worry about, depends on what the condition of the stairs are.
Yeah. No, but it's posed upon you, and you know, it's not like I'm at the gym doing a bunch of squats and deadlifts and stuff like that. It's, but you have to rise to the occasion, and yeah.
Hey man, that's how many, there's probably countless dudes who some guy asked them to do something like that in front of the girl, and they're like, yeah, I'll do that. And then they're just in bed for fucking 2 weeks, blow your back out.
Yeah, we'll find out tomorrow. But, yeah. What do you think of our new glorious leader, Carney?
I mean, it seems like a lot of the same from the Trudeau stuff. I don't know. I don't know how much he's really. I see some of his like proposals that he puts forth. I just don't. It's one of those things where I'm like, I don't know if he's going to actually do any of this stuff. Like, you know, they keep talking about, oh, they're going to have like turn Canada into this energy superpower. And I go, I guess I'll believe it when I see it. I mean, where are you in Canada?
New Brunswick.
New Brunswick. So what's the tone out there? Because New Brunswick was a big carny country, I believe.
Yeah. They went liberal in our province, so I think some people see that as a benefit that they're aligned with the federal leadership. So,
yeah, are people liking carny so far? Where you're at?
It depends. I don't think that after 10 years of the Liberals or however long they were in charge that anyone thinks that it'll improve the economy to have them in power, but we'll see.
I mean, that's like such a Canadian thing. You're like, yeah, we voted for the guy. We don't think it's going to get any better, but still going to vote for him. You go, okay, well, I guess.
Yeah,
I mean,
I didn't, but he got the popular vote.
Yeah, so. He got the popular vote. I mean, I saw that he's lowering the marginal income tax rate, but I saw some calculation, like he's lowering it like 1%. Which for someone who makes $100,000 a year or something like 80,000, you're like, it's $150 back a year. Yeah. Like literally nothing. He just says I'm doing it and you go, nothing.
Yeah. And there was a lot of talk that they were going to push back against the tariffs and, and try and save the Canadian auto industry or whatever else is being targeted by the tariffs. And it looks like it was kind of all talk. I saw that meeting between them, and it didn't really impress me. I didn't really seem like he was putting up a fight. And
well, again, anyway. The smart thing to do is to not put counter tariffs on. I don't know where they're at because I've seen some conflicting things. Some people have been saying that they removed all the tariffs sneakily, but then I don't believe that's true. I think there's still a lot of tariffs, U.S. tariffs on. It seems like. Yeah, I mean, it's only a matter of time before the auto manufacturers get killed. So I can't see how they can just wait this out. I have no clue. Like, I don't really know what he's up to be honest. Like in terms of policies that he's really implementing. But we'll see. I mean, it must suck seeing like Trump do so much shit and just up there is just they're like, yeah, we're not racist anymore.
Yeah. Well, there's not much a politician can do for you anyways. All they can do is tax you or put you in jail.
That's true. I mean, I don't know. Trump's doing some fucking wild ass shit down here. He's in fucking overdrive down here.
Maybe if the silver lining to it would be, I guess, if the Canadian government, instead of shipping a bunch of natural resources away, they figure a way to refine them. Obviously, oil would be a big one, but even just wood and just other things that we buy from other countries, if it drove us to improve our own manufacturing, maybe it'd be good for our economy too.
Yeah, I saw a lot of photos online of people were a lot of grocery stores because when the Trump 51st state stuff. Then there was this big like Buy Canadian initiative in Canada. I don't know if people are still doing that, but grocery stores have basically is it still going?
It's a thing. If you go to Walmart, there's definitely sometimes there'll be a stack.
Oh yes, the great Canadian business Walmart.
Yeah, exactly. Right. People still go to Walmart, but they make a stand by looking at a product that's clearly American. They say, no.
Yeah, but
I want the French's ketchup or whatever.
Right, but they've been doing this thing called maple washing. That's what people have been calling it, where they literally like orange juice. They'll be like product of Canada, and you're like, that's not possible. They don't grow oranges in Canada. Like all this shit, they're just like, well, it's processed or something in Canada, and you're like, it's not Canadian. And then people just are like, okay, this orange juice is from Canada, good stuff. And you're like, it's impossible. They don't grow oranges in Canada. And they just
hopefully it blows over. It's not really the kind of country you kind of want to have a problem with or have a continued confrontation with. But,
although that Golden Dome's coming. You heard about that? The Golden Dome? It's like an Iron Dome, but gold.
Kind of like Reagan Star Wars project all over again.
Well, I guess it's like the Israeli Iron Dome that they have, which I guess it's somewhat effective, but the difference is that they have a regular issue with rockets being shot into their country. I don't recall a rocket ever being shot into Canada or the United States ever. I mean, I guess it's a good thing to have, but you're like, is this a real problem? I guess you want to, snub it out before it is a problem, I suppose, if you're taking the very safe standpoint. But
the thing about that too is it seems all good and it's defensive, but actually to another country that has nuclear capabilities, they're going to see that as offensive, right? You could potentially you could shoot a nuke at them, and then when they were to retaliate, you could stop the nuke. So it gives you, it seems like it's a defensive thing, but it also is kind of
right. That's a good point. I never thought of that, actually. So what you're saying is any countries who have nukes who are thinking about nuking North America do it now.
I guess that would be, one thing about it. But I guess one way you could see it almost like what Iran building a nuke and Israel wanting to stop it. Not that I think it would cause anyone to attack us, but just that it seems, harmless and for defense. But in reality, it's still military. It's still a weapon. It's still, fueling the arms race.
Yeah, that's a good point. I didn't think about that. All right, Jesse. Thanks, man.
Yeah. Awesome. Have a good one, man.
You too.
Take
care.
Cheers.
Jesse from Canada. All right. We're going to keep going here. If you're on the line, stay on the line. We will get to you. We have Dylan Farnham.
Hello, Mr. Danny.
What's up, dog? How's it going?
I got three things.
Yes.
One, I just want to say that I appreciate you bringing people together.
Yeah.
Sorry if I sound sick.
Yeah, you do sound.
We'll be doing a collaboration with Mr. Jared. He's doing quite a bit of research on the
I bet Jared does lots of research. You guys are what? You guys are starting a podcast?
Well, I just wanted to interview him. I just wanted to hear all his knowledge and give him a longer platform.
Oh, okay. I hope you have a lot of memory on your memory card, because I feel like he could go for fucking hours.
Dude, he's doing weeks of research.
I bet.
I'm gonna have to take a day off.
Yeah.
The other thing is, I went to jail recently, and I saw something that I think would make you laugh.
Yeah, what happened? Do you mind telling us? Was it bad? I mean, jail is obviously not good, but was it a misunderstanding?
Well, it involved me protecting my children, and I didn't go about it the proper way, apparently. But
were you protecting them from their mother? Were you protecting them from their mother?
No.
Okay.
I was protecting people in my neighborhood.
Okay.
And
say no more. Don't need to incriminate yourself on this podcast. But what'd you see in jail?
So I was in the pod, and I had this guy sit across from me, and I just wanted to be left alone. I wasn't in the mood to talk. And this guy comes and sits across from me, and that's like our uniform had like a V cut, and in the center of it, it says JEW.
What?
He had a big Jew tattoo on his chest.
Okay. Was he Jewish, or was that was something else cut off?
I would assume so. No, it just said Jew, like they usually do with like white power.
Yeah. I like it. The Jews are transforming. That is hilarious.
Yeah, he was kind of by himself.
Yeah, you're probably not making a lot of friends in lockup with that giant Jew tattoo.
I don't think half the people in there could even spell Jew.
Did you end up talking to him or no?
No, I couldn't even believe that they had me go into the pod because I made bail pretty quickly. So I was just in there for 2 hours just sitting on my ass. So I was like, I'm not going to talk to anybody. I'm not in the mood. That's how I ended up getting sick, though, because this piece of shit homeless guy was in there on the intake.
Wow, gross. That sucks. Man, honestly, if they ever allowed podcasting equipment in prison, some of the greatest podcasts in the world would come out of there. Like, literally.
Yeah, the first time I went in, this was minimum security. The first time I went in, I was like, all my pod mates were like murderers. They had some interesting stories.
I bet.
So this other thing I wanted to talk about quickly, and I'll give
go
it
ahead.
up.
Go ahead.
Is I found this guy, and it's a really weird instance. And I was talking to Jared about it. I showed him. This guy's name is Shameless Spurg on YouTube.
Okay.
And in the last week, he's gone from having no subs to about 7.4K subscribers right now.
Okay.
And he's covering a bunch of stuff that's like black fatigue, all this stuff that you're not allowed to say. And it's really weird that YouTube, like everyone in the comments, is questioning why he's all of a sudden blowing up, why they got recommended him. It's like, obviously I'm not too fond of certain people.
You think it's an op?
But,
are you saying it's an op?
I think it's an op, dude.
So you're
the other thing.
Yeah, go ahead.
Sorry, I don't want to talk over you. He has apparently a tattoo in Hebrew. I haven't seen it. I just barely kind of scratched the surface on this guy. But he was wearing like a black sun hat. He's been saying a lot of stuff that would make maybe Nick Fuentes blush. And I get in trouble. I get views taken away from my videos. I get likes taken away. I get subscribers removed just for saying, some other shit.
Sure.
But they're really pushing this race war shit. I'm not the most tolerant person in the world, but if I fucking say this shit,
sure.
I try to at least keep myself kosher with this shit.
Yeah, this guy's had a channel for 12 days.
A week.
Yeah, 12 days.
Okay, so you pulled it up. Yeah.
He had one. Yeah, he had. This is interesting. I mean, I find it and what's the thought here that YouTube is going to push this and then be like, we need censorship? Because YouTube was like the top one of the top censoring places.
Yeah, I just got taken down because I was streaming and we were playing some videos of on the live stream, and someone had a gun and AI picked it up. And this guy's out here saying some rowdy shit. And so I got my privileges taken away. But my theory is that he's they're pushing him because I'm assuming the kosher people are getting quite a bit of attention recently. Things are not looking so great for them. Mm-hmm. And then on Twitter, there's been a lot more stuff pushed, and obviously it's all real, but I'm seeing a lot of this racial division stuff trying to, I'm assuming, keep your eyes and ears off of the other engagements across seas.
Interesting. Yeah, I don't know, because the thing is for a new channel like this, it might not get, because I imagine your channel is fairly old. Like, we might be talking in 2 weeks and this thing's gone. Very possibly. Just because it might be.
Yeah, he's even mentioned that.
Yeah, because sometimes it takes a little time to kind of get on YouTube's radar. Yeah, it says joined May 13th. So he's only had this channel for 13 days. Sometimes, it does take for, literally a person seeing this and they're like, oh, yeah, you can't. Because he might, not say anything that specifically triggers their kind of, algo stuff, and then someone manually sees it. Yeah, I'll look at it. I'll check out his channel. But you think this guy's potentially Jew? You think this guy's potentially Jewish? Does he talk about Jews or just other races?
That's the one thing that he doesn't talk about.
Because here's the thing: I don't know if this is some big secret, but there's lots of Jews who don't like black people. I don't know if this is something that everybody thinks.
I'm very aware of that.
Okay.
That Schwarze.
Yeah, exactly. We even have a word for them in Yiddish. So there are Schwarzes. Yeah, exactly. But so there are some who don't like. I don't know. Maybe this guy's just like, this is the thing he's into, and there's the pie's big enough for everybody. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I think it might be too early to get on the this is an op thing. If this guy has I thought you were going to say you were 7.5 million subscribers. And I was like, okay, that's something. But 7,500, it's nothing that crazy. I would give this a little more time before casting aspersions.
Daddy numbers here, I've been, I don't have that many subscribers. I'm also not that likable, I guess.
Yeah,
But,
I mean, there is a weird thing where it's just like certain people just like connect better than other people. It's not like an explicable thing. But yeah, I don't know. Well, you got to give it a little more time before we can jump to this conclusion. But I'll keep an eye on it. I'll put them on my list.
And people were asking, I guess, if you want to pay attention in the future, if me and Jared get together. My channel is Dylan Farnham 1488, which is probably holding me down with that.
Oh,
with that
you
number
think,
in there.
Dylan? You think that might be hurting your reach potentially?
Maybe we found something there.
Yeah, I mean, there's probably a way of kind of like honestly, if I were to, this isn't my forte, obviously, but probably if you just remove 1488, you could say way crazier shit and people will kind of get the gist of it. Like maybe put the salient stuff in the titles of the videos and people will figure it out. I don't think, I think that's a little on the nose, as they say.
I see what you're doing there.
Yeah.
All right, Mr. Polachuk, I appreciate your time.
Feel better. Feel better.
All right, thank you.
Dylan, everybody. Interesting. We got some super chats. Famous Amos cookies, C-dumps. What did Famous Amos do? Was he also black? I think I actually ate those cookies recently. Was it a black grandma? What was it? Famous Amos. Was he actually a black guy though? But he's actually a black guy. Literally, Famous Amos. There's a guy, Wally Amos, and he's what? Why would they remove him? The guy made the cookies. All right. Dylan says, my wife stopped letting our daughter watch a show she liked called Dino Ranch because it had two dads. The two dads are T-Rexes. The battle is not over. Shout out to Vincent, new member for 15 months. Eric for 14 months. C-Dumps, welcome to the channel. And Get Off My Lawn as well. Thank you for joining up. All right. Let's go back to Canada. We got Christian from Canada. Christian, are you there? Christiana. No, Christian. Sorry. Thought it was
Cristiano. No, I'm
yeah,
here.
I read it wrong. I read it wrong.
You get pissy pretty quick when people don't pull the star six fast enough.
I know, my bad. No, you did it good. You did it good. What's up, buddy?
Hey, listen, I missed your show in Edmonton your whole run.
Yeah.
But I missed the show on May 4th. How was that run? I was really looking forward to meeting you.
It was good. The shows were great. The Thursday show was a little light because of the fucking Oilers game, but thankfully they won. It was Game 6 Oilers versus Kings, and had they lost that game and gone to a Game 7, my shows would have been absolutely decimated. But the shows were good. That club is amazing. That's like one of the best. That's the best club of that chain for sure, the comic strip. But it was good. The comic strip in Edmonton is a great club.
Yeah, I like it there pretty much. It's pretty much the only place we go.
And I didn't have a
My wife and I had tickets for the Saturday, and I was thought about on Thursday afternoon when I was at work. I was like, I should just go to the Thursday show for the fuck of it.
Yeah.
And then I didn't, and then I got blown up and burnt badly in an accident at work on Friday.
Oh no!
So I couldn't come to your fucking show on Saturday. It sucked.
Sorry.
I tried. I tried.
I appreciate you, brother. I appreciate you. That sucks. What, you got blown up? That sucks, dude.
Work-related incidents. Let's say that.
All right. What's up, though? Go ahead. What's up?
I didn't really have anything controversial to say aside from that. I'm glad the show was okay. How do you think the Oilers are doing?
I think the Oilers are doing great.
I would have come to your show instead of watching the game.
Yeah, I think they're doing great. I mean, it looks like it's going to be a rematch of last year, and I think it's going to be the same outcome probably. But, I mean, the Panthers look insane. They are like...
Yeah, well, it's going to be a repeat of last year.
Yeah, they minus the game. That's what I think. It'll be the same finals, but I don't think it's going to go 7 games. I think it's going to be a little shorter. Although Stuart Skinner is playing unreal, but the problem is he'll have like a shutout and then he'll give up like 6 goals the next game. So I don't know. But the Panthers look like they're in a different class from every other team. Like, it's not like Dallas is shit or anything. And I think that, yeah, like I don't think Dallas is better than Carolina, and Carolina's getting fucking beat the fuck down. Yeah, absolutely. It's brutal. Like I mean, everybody. I know some people are like don't give a shit about hockey, but after the Leafs lost, everybody was like, we need to blow this team up. And then now they're watching Carolina. They go, holy shit. They're like, if we could have just won one more game, they're like seeing how badly Carolina's getting destroyed. They're like, well, we may actually be like a top 3 or 4 team. Like, might not be the best idea to blow it up, but we'll see. Nobody's loving Zach Hyman on the Oilers though in Toronto. That's for sure. Great Jewish hockey player. He's not even the best. There's a lot of really good Jewish hockey players.
Actually Jewish.
Zach Hyman? Oh, big time, man. Big time.
I know the name is Jewish, but he doesn't look Jewish when I look at his face.
Oh, look at his fucking nose, man. Are you kidding me? That guy's, and that's not from just like your regular hockey player breaking his nose all the time. That's just fucking off the lot right there. That came that way. No, Zach Hyman's Jewish. Yeah.
Okay, well, I'm going to sign off here because I know you guys, all these Americans hate hearing Alberta talk. I'm an Albertan, not a Canadian. Thank you very much. Alberta 51.
There were a lot of them, man. There were so many at the show who I would ask about that, and they're like, "Yeah, we're out. We're fucking out."
It's not. I called you about this a couple of months ago.
Yeah, we talked about it. Yeah, we talked about it a couple of months ago. But I'm
not alone. I'm not alone. We're out of here.
Yeah. That's fucking
by hook or by crook.
You guys are gonna have
some of us would be very happy with violent revolution just to be gone.
I was thinking about it. I'm like, Canada only has 60,000 members of the armed forces. I'm like, you guys could probably pull together a 60,000 person militia pretty quickly.
And they're all fucking in some base in Miramichi, New Brunswick.
Yeah, exactly. They're not around there.
Most of the ones around here are gonna side with us.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
Why don't we just take over the legislature and have this fucking over with?
Probably. You guys will have a referendum probably in the next 12 months, so we'll see how that goes.
Well, I suppose if we want to do it the proper way.
Yeah, I mean, you're going to be doing it the proper way. I don't think it's going to be by force, but we'll see.
Well, we may be Albertans, but we were born in Canada, so we don't really have the balls to do what's necessary.
No, that's pretty aggressive. Yeah, that'll be a sight to see if that happens. Christian, all right, thanks, man. Christian,
thanks,
everybody.
buddy. Have a good night.
You too. Take care. Sorry about all the hockey talk, everybody. I didn't bring it up. All right. Let's see who we got here on the list. We're not going to talk to somebody in Canada. Let's go to Bob. I've never seen Bob before. And if you're on the line, be patient. We will get to you in due time. Bob, no, he's not there yet. Let's see. Oh, some people, they're asked to unmute their shit, and then they just have a little panic attack, don't they?
Hello?
Bob, are you there?
Yo, what's up?
What's happening, Bob?
Not much, man. Just fucking sitting in from the United States of America.
Love to hear it. Agree. You having a good Memorial Day? You eat some hot dogs? I didn't eat any hot dogs today, sadly.
You know what I saw this morning? There was I got up this morning and I was cleaning my car. And there was a baby hawk underneath my neighbor's car, which is right next to my car.
Whoa. That's pretty wild. I'd be worried that like the fucking mom's going to show up and tear your fucking eyes out.
Yeah. I was worried about that. But come lunchtime, the fucking hawk got out from under the car. It's up on the wall. Just chilling in the shade.
What do you do? Do you call animal control? Like, was it injured?
Well, I tried to call animal control, and they were like, I think they're closed for Memorial Day.
They can't close for Memorial Day? What do you mean? That's fucking what? Animals don't die on Memorial Day?
Animals need to take the day off, too.
Yeah. I mean, that hawk's not taking the day off. I mean, I should be worried that it's sticking around and the mom comes back angry.
So here's my thought. Either the mom's going to come back angry and be like, what are you doing around my child?
Uh-huh.
Or the mom is gone and I should feed this bird.
That would be cool, man. You could be like fucking RFK Jr. I guess he does it with falcons, but you could have your own hawk. Raise a hawk. You could
I could probably raise a hawk.
You could raise a hawk, man. You just have your own hawk. Get one of those fucking cool arm things, the leather ones.
Yeah.
Consider it. Go ahead. What do you want to talk about?
I was just going to say his towns are still pretty small, but you know, I don't know if I would actually feel pain from a Hawks Downs personally.
What? Say that again?
Nothing.
All right. Yeah, I didn't catch you. Go. What was that, Bob?
What do you want to talk about?
It's not that kind of show. It's not that kind of show. It's you call in. It's open lines. It's you tell me what you want to talk about. It sounds like you want to talk about Hawks. Do you have a good barbecue? What do you do on Memorial Day? Memorial Day is like one of those weird ones because I'm not from America, where it always sneaks up on me. I forget that it's Memorial Day, and then I don't know. Like I know 4th of July is like a fucking real blowout, but I'm like, is Memorial Day like you're just easing in, like you're not going too crazy? Because in Canada they have made it's Victoria Day.
You'll see kids on the sidewalks with sparklers,
and
like fucking waving at the cars as they go by and shit. But,
it's like July 4th, like gay cousin.
Me personally, exactly. It's like the mini July 4th. Well, I don't know. I just fucking had the day off. You know, I'm a fucking retail employee. So
sure. So you're just chilling.
I just stayed home.
No dogs. Just chilling, washing the car. All right, Bob. We'll have a happy rest of your Memorial Day. Bob, everybody. That was Bob. All right. It's Jew time. It's Jew. Hockey Night Canada. What's up, Jared? Maybe that could be the theme song for your podcast.
I mean, I'm excited that you're excited.
Yeah, although Kanye has a pretty good song. I don't know if he'll license it to you, but that might be a little better.
You hold on. I had an idea to bring up Kanye, and you brought it up before I did.
It seems like if you had a podcast, that would be a pretty good fucking intro for your podcast.
I'm not making the rules. God does. You know, I just trust my Heavenly Father.
Hey, so does Kanye.
And that's the idea. So let me start with one seed of a thought.
Okay.
Song 7 is Heil Hitler. Okay, pardon.
Did you say Psalm 7 or Song 7?
Okay, Song 7. So that there's a number of tracks on the
track
album.
list. I thought you were saying Psalm, like from the Bible.
Oh no. I have a speech impediment. I'm Italian.
Okay.
No, I'm joking. But long story short, Song 7 is Heil Hitler. Song 8 is Ye, Jesus, and the Jews.
Okay.
Or it's Ye, Jesus, and Hitler, something like that. I can't remember.
Okay.
But do you know what the name of Song 9 is?
No.
Guess.
Jews?
No, better.
This is the Cuck album?
It's the album. It's the official album. Song 9. And it actually has like the biggest letters. Like if you were to look at like the list of the songs, the biggest letters are World War III and then the letters for track 9. Guess what the name of track 9 is?
Gas Chambers?
I'm going to give you a hint.
Oh, Jared. Oh, wow. Well, so here's the thing. On Wikipedia, it's in different order because in Wikipedia, song number 7 is Cousins when he talks about blowing his cousin. Number 11 is Hail Hitler. And number 14 is Jared. Number 14, that's a better number, actually.
Is it better than 9? Because 9 is completion.
Yeah, but 14 is like the 14, like Dylan 1488. Dylan Farnham 1488.
Oh, that's also true. Yeah,
number 14 is Jared. Is it about Jared Taylor? Is it a song about Jared Taylor?
I think he's a low value male fan, to be honest.
Maybe. I wouldn't put it past him. What's up, yay? Well, there you go. So is it a banger? Have you listened to it?
I mean, I've never listened to it. I just thought it was fun to eventually share that with you, and
okay,
we could have that.
That's crazy that you haven't listened to it, or is it not released? Is that the problem?
I won't spend money on it. I could tell you that.
I'm not going to support those degenerate blacks in their music.
with that said, let's get into some Jews, huh?
Yes. I need my fix.
And honestly, I wanted to like salute you, sir. You recently made
a Roman salute, I imagine.
If any salute would suit, it would be Roman, but of course, naturally.
Yeah.
But with that said, you made a little tribute to the low value males and fans who love you, and you encouraged Chris to stay clean.
Yeah.
And then you talked about your Toronto Maple Leafs who had a rough season.
Yeah.
And you gave me just that wee bit of love, and you said Jared might be onto something. I just want to say,
sure. I didn't make that. That was someone from the Patreon actually who made that. I think it was just to give him his just dues. It was who was it who made it? Something Poo Pants. Somebody made it. I don't know.
Yeah, you signed off on it. You
Poophead.
So
Poophead Paul made it.
Well,
I
you signed off on it, and you're a gentleman, and it was fun. It was good. The music was a little.
Oh yeah, that was in relation to all the billionaire Biden donors, and there was like a list, and there was like I think 8 out of the 10 of them were Jewish.
So today we're talking about
9. Yeah.
I'd say it's 15 if we were to get down into the nitty gritty.
15 out of 10.
That's
a high percent.
Hyperbole.
Yeah.
But the idea is that there is a prime minister by the name of Menachem Begin. Did we speak about this last week?
I don't know Menachem Begin.
Okay. So this guy was Ergun. He's a terrorist.
Okay. Yeah.
Ran around with the movers and shakers.
Okay.
And he's got a quote that's attributed to him. And this gets into the 8200 and controlling the narrative. I want to start with prefacing this particular quote with saying that if you search this on Google, or use Wikipedia, they will tell you that this quote is misattributed to a man.
Okay.
And it's a fallacy and never happened. But the truth is, there was a Jewish journalist who was a steadfast purveyor of truth and loved what it is to be, a man of virtue.
Okay.
And he was in that room that day when Menachem Begin spoke to the Knesset, and he jotted down these words, and I quote, "Our race is the master race. We Jews are divine gods on this planet. We are as different from the inferior races as they are from insects. In fact, compared to our race, other races are beasts and animals, cattle at best. Other races are considered as human excrement. Our destiny is to rule over the inferior races. Our earthly kingdom will be ruled by our leader with an iron rod. The masses will lick our feet and serve as our slaves." Okay.
You know what's pretty funny is that sounds verbatim what a Black Hebrew Israelite would say. That is like the exact type of shit they say.
Well,
like
I was
exactly.
Actually dude, and that's one of those things where what is the subjugation of each other and like assuming that like other people should be our slaves? It's crazy.
I mean, again, no Jews I've ever met think that though.
No. I'm saying whether Black Israelite or.
I mean, these are religious. These are religious zealots. It's like,
yeah,
I mean, they exist. They exist in every religion. Every religion has its, I can find you Christians and Catholics and probably Hindus, maybe not Hindus. But
my point is, my point is every prime minister of Israel has been a religious zealot. And they don't.
I don't know. I think Netanyahu's like pretty secular.
One Yitzhak Rabin who was murdered for proposing a Palestinian and Israeli two-state solution.
Yeah,
so
but I don't think Netanyahu's particularly a religious guy.
Well, no, they're all satanic atheists. They claim to be atheists, but they,
they're like pretty secular.
Yeah, that's a whole other thing. But
I don't know about the other ones though.
The reason that this quote is available is by the work of a man by the name of Amnon Kapelil. He's born in Israel to parents who had, I believe, somewhat of a French or maybe Algerian background, as somewhat of a French name. But he worked for French papers in his the bulk of his journalistic work. But long story short, he was the individual who made this code available to the world, and as a result of it was persecuted by entities like the ADL, when the ADL at the time wasn't necessarily doing that rigorous, vicious campaign. It was another entity. I forget the name of it, but it's like Magra or Megum. But he like for the rest of his life he was harassed.
Yeah.
And all he wanted was to just like let people know that there's like a psychopathic, like these people aren't vultures feeding on the dead. They're not wolves. Like some of these people who are doing these things. I'm not saying it's all. I mean, I believe it's.
I mean, you could say George W. Bush was a psychopath. Like, they exist. And here's the thing: psychopathy probably, to a degree, makes like people search positions of power out, and also better at attaining them. Because you have to be kind of like fucking nuts to even want to do this shit. Let alone understanding, like, the games you need to play to, like, acquire these levels of power.
100%. Who the fuck wants to be president?
Yeah.
Like, you have to be an insane person to even want that job.
Not Jimmy Carter. He just was a humble peanut farmer.
But with that said, I wanted to...
I want to actually ask you something. Sorry to cut you off. But that 8,200 thing you were talking about, what was the quote you said about them, like something maintaining the narrative or something?
So 8,200's purpose is, their sole purpose is to steer the narrative.
Steer the narrative. But this is my question. So do you, because obviously the narrative has gotten way away from Israel right now. Do you think that this is intentional, or are they failing?
So the idea that like Piers Morgan is now saying, oh, Israel's doing horrible things and stuff like that, I think that's like them trying to, in some way, shape, or fashion, allow the media to have a certain degree of legitimacy, because they're losing all credibility by just like, there's facts in front of them. They're just like, oh, it's not happening. So like it starts to look really bad.
Yeah, because I am actually of the thought, I don't want them to do this, but like I'm not pro this, but the idea, because everybody's like, Israel's committing a genocide, they're committing an ethnic cleansing, which can be argued on the ethnic cleansing thing. I don't agree that they're committing a genocide.
Arguable.
But ethnic cleansing, like legitimately, like if you were like, yeah, everybody has to move out of this area, you're like, that's the definition of it. Like that you can't really argue that. But I'm like, with the whole genocide thing, it's like, what potential further blowback would they receive by actually doing a genocide at this point? Because they're like, y'all hate us as much as we're doing it. Like there is an element where you're like, they could just do it at this point. It's like, it's what everybody thinks they're doing. And it's like, if that's what they actually want to do, then why not do it?
And that's where I think we've actually gotten, where it's at the point where they don't even give two fucks. And they've bombed and destroyed all the hospitals in Gaza, 36 of them. They're all gone.
Yeah.
Okay. They claim there's Hamas tunnels or Hamas in every single one. You know what we do when there's a school shooter?
Mm-hmm.
What do we do? Do we bomb it with fucking precision?
No, but that's not an equal comparison.
Hold on.
It's
I'm
not the same thing.
I know it's not a comparison, but what do we do with? Let's just say capturing Bin Laden happened. Let's just say hypothetically. I don't believe that.
Yeah.
We captured him, right?
Yeah.
We didn't bomb his fucking. We did. Saddam Hussein, what'd they do? They captured him. Gaddafi, what'd they do? They captured him. Okay, so what's this thing about just bombing everything to smithereens? Like,
yeah.
What do we? What is this? Is this a conversation? They talk about war. There's no war. There's no army. They don't have weapons. They don't.
I mean, that's the. I mean, they definitely have weapons. There's definitely some sort of.
Okay. They maybe have a gun. Bombs to a gun.
I mean, they don't have. Yeah, they don't have bombs. I mean, they have rockets and missiles and stuff. Like there's no shortage of them firing rockets.
Let's just say you got a couple pocket rockets. You got an RPG. Okay, you're a bad boy in Hamas. You know, let's say Hamas is real and not just Israel.
Yeah.
But let's just say, you know, you got a couple pocket rockets and you're a bad guy. Dude, they're fucking launching fucking bombs from the sky, bro, and they're just bombing children.
Yeah, I mean, certainly the proportionality of it is, you know, questionable. But also, I mean, I know people disagree on this, but like this is what Hamas to a degree wants, is like they want to win the PR campaign in the world, and they're like, yeah, if some of our people died, so be it.
I don't even believe it. Like PR. Like the only PR that comes out of Hamas is from the news.
Well, and all the fucking leftists in the country who are all like aligning with them, and
I don't believe the left. I don't believe the rights. Well, they're all liars.
Sure,
you know what I mean?
But I'm just saying they like, you know, nothing like Hamas watches the news and they be like, "Yo, everybody on college campuses is like supports us." Like that's what they want.
So
like that's definitely. I don't know if this is part of their plan, but they're like, this is best case scenario. Minus obviously everybody getting fucking blown up, but
so you and me are brothers. You're the older brother. I'm the younger brother. Obviously, more handsome, more fit, athletic. Our parents are murdered. Okay. Wouldn't we be a little upset?
Sure.
You know.
Absolutely.
Like let's just say. Blah blah, but again, I don't want to dig into the weeds. The point of these conversations and these exercises and these thought conversations, like what it is to like just discuss what's going on. We need to be able to like divide between truth and bullshit.
Sure.
And the most important thing right now is that, like, let's just say 200 hostages were taken that day.
You dispute that fact?
No, I'm just saying, let's just say that happened.
Yeah.
That doesn't equal murdering 20,000 children.
Yeah. I mean, I understand the case to be made. The thing is nobody can really give a good answer for what they really should do. This is what I'd like actually see happen is I'd like them to just leave Gaza, give them their fucking 2-state solution, leave the West Bank, just be like, here's your shit. And then if you keep firing rockets at us, it's going to be fucking 10 times worse than what's going on now. And we'll be like, we'll give you the benefit of the doubt that you're not going to do this shit anymore. Just like we're out. And then, because that's the big question. That's literally Israel's whole thing. Why they won't do this is because if we do this, they're just going to keep shooting rockets at us. And I go, you know what? They're shooting rockets at you anyways. So just leave And if they do it, just be like, all right, well then, if you thought this was bad, it's gonna be way worse. And then also, then they can say in public, they're like, look, we left. They kept doing it. So
I think you're onto something, but I have to ask you a question. No, I think you're 100% spot on onto something. But where do the rockets come from when there's checkpoints at every?
Where do the rockets come from? I mean, my guess would be
like
via
they can't get food in. Okay, you're telling me they can't get food in, but they can get rockets in?
Well, I assume that the rockets have been. My assumption would be that they have like an armory over that they've stocked up over years.
Brother
But I mean,
Daniel,
yeah,
Brother Daniel.
Yes, sir.
Let's use common sense. Who's really shooting those rockets? Blaming Hamas?
Wait, you think the Israelis are shooting rockets at themselves?
Yep.
That I don't. I mean, that would be crazy.
So I'm going out on a limb. I'm an extremist.
Yeah, sure. Sure. Not perhaps.
I'm willing to accept that.
Yes.
But
that's a bridge too far even for me.
Well, that gets into 9/11, October 7th.
Sure.
These are false flag events that allow them to perpetuate the terror.
Yeah.
And the terror is not actual terrorists. It's terror on the people. It's the Americans. It's the Palestinians. It's the Jews. You know how many Jews live in fear, and every time they hear a siren, they cower.
Yeah, for sure.
And they run into tunnels. I mean, this is
Here's the thing. Everybody is like expects like, Jews to be super loyal to Israel or whatever. I'm like, and I've said this before. I'm not a fan of governments, period. I'm very suspicious of anybody who's in government. So like that's kind of my starting point on this. I don't think they're shooting the rockets at themselves. I mean, that would be fucking crazy if that came out that they were.
Dude, wouldn't it? Wouldn't it be wild, brother?
That'd be nuts. But Hamas would at some point be like, yo, these aren't even us. Like, they're shooting rocket. Someone would say that.
But is Hamas Palestine? That's the question. Like, I'm saying it's not.
Well, they're the government.
Hamas is. Dude, they're not even, like, I'm saying that Hamas is like these dudes just collecting checks on behalf of Israel and Qatar. And they're acting like they're the people of interest who are responsible for what's going on in the area.
I mean, they're the government. Reality, I mean, you could say they're the government.
According to Israel, they're the government.
According to the Palestinians, they're the government. I mean, I don't know how fair their elections are, but
maybe the Palestinians are stupid and they're living in fucking chaos and war, and they have no idea what's going on. They actually think that Hamas might be the people who are helping them. It's sad to even think that they actually might think that Hamas is their savior, when in reality it's just Israel.
Yeah, I don't know about that. I think
maybe I'm wrong.
Yeah, that one might be the stretch. All right, Jared, I gotta let you go because I got so many calls behind you. But yeah, go ahead.
Thank you. I always enjoy our conversation.
Yes,
you're a gentleman. Pardon me if I got a little too off the rails today.
No, that was pretty on the rails for you. I'm not gonna lie. Jared, everybody, take care, man. That was Jared. Let's keep it moving. We're moving, baby. Drew,
what's up, Danny?
How's it going, man?
Oh, it's going good. I don't want to make a long story short like the last guy, but to just jump on to what he was saying, is Connor Dog Jewish?
Connor is Jewish, not by birth. He was born in a puppy mill in North Carolina, and I don't believe they were Jewish, but by osmosis, he is Jewish.
Yeah, by you owning him. Okay, have the tariffs affected Connor's dog food prices?
No, because I make all of Connor's food every week. Connor does not eat kibble. He's very picky eater. Incredibly. It's quite fucking annoying because most dogs, you just put a plate of food in front of them, they'll just eat it. Connor, I make him every week. I make him because he has bladder stones among his million other health conditions. He was pissing blood a couple summers ago. So then we had to get him a special diet made up by a nutritionist. This all sounds insane when I say it out loud. But every week,
Connor Cast.
Yeah, this Connor Cast. Every week I make him white rice, ground beef, chicken thighs, broccoli, and yellow squash. And it's in a certain ratio, and I make it every week for him, and that's what he eats, with some Parmesan cheese on top because he won't eat it otherwise. And that's his diet.
Okay, and have you tried? Can Connor ice skate? Have you tried teaching him ice skating?
No, not with those hips, man. No way. That would be a fucking trip back to the hospital. Wouldn't even try it. I don't think he'd like it either, though.
But I mean, if he did learn to ice skate and he became an ice skating dog, would you think about making a Canadian team
of all Connors? I mean, I don't hate it because I said to my wife, I go, just being named Connor is a pretty good predictor that you're going to play in the NHL. Connor Brown, Connor McDavid.
It's already there.
Yeah, there's
you have a team of Connors.
Connor Bedard. There's so many. There's Kyle Connor, even though it's his last name. There's so many Connors in the NHL. It's crazy. It might be one of the most common names that's not like a Michael or something.
Probably the most Connor name.
Most Connor name, yeah.
Say.
Yeah. But otherwise, Connor is doing well. But he's not a hockey fan, unfortunately. He just likes.
So he doesn't like hockey?
I guess he's ambivalent about hockey. I don't think he's ever really watched it. I sometimes will force him to, and he's not interested. Anton says, just get a different dog. Not an option, unfortunately. You can't just get a different dog. You know, Drew. You don't just get new dogs.
Tell Anton to go kill himself.
Yeah, you know. Oh, that YouTube's not going to like that. But
oh yeah, so don't say that.
Don't do that, Anton. No, you can't do that, Anton. You have your dog, and then you just hope they live a long, healthy life, and then they die, and then you replace them with an identical dog and pretend like it never happened.
Yeah, like in that Arnold movie.
Yeah. At least that's the plan. That's the plan right now. But Connor's got many years left in him. That's for sure.
It doesn't sound like it based on all the health problems.
No, he's good, man.
Anyways.
Dude, I got an appointment. Let me tell you, we take good care of him. I shit you not, I have an appointment with Connor's cardiologist in 2 weeks. The guy has better medical treatment than I do.
Cardiologist.
Yeah. And let me tell you.
Can you get that guy on the pod?
No.
Like, how did you get into this?
No, but that guy fucking makes absolute bank being a dog cardiologist in New York City.
He's a dog cardiologist.
And that guy does one thing, and he only is a dog cardiologist. And that's it. And that's all he does. And he probably makes a fucking fortune.
And he won't come on the pod because you will not pay him anywhere close to
hell no, dude. I cannot afford him. Dude, I cannot afford him. I can tell you.
You can't even afford him for your dog.
Yeah, exactly. I'm telling you. Guys, sign up for my Instagram thing. Go make an account. Sign up. It's fucking, dude, it's insane how much. I spend more money on my dog than I spend on myself. Like, I don't even think it's that close. It's crazy.
All right, Danny. I love you, dude.
Appreciate it, man. Love you too. Drew.
Right.
Drew dog, everybody. Logan Sorter says, like the stream, if you're into it. Dylan Farnham says, Jimmy Carter signed off on the CIA to enter into Afghanistan and allow them to fund Osama. Not quite innocent. All right. I stand corrected. Jimmy Carter, bad guy. Rotten hell, Jimmy Carter. Runaway Slav is asking in the chat, is Connor circumcised? We don't. Okay. Well, we're going to talk to Slav or Sean because Mark doesn't know which one's which. So let's see. 50% chance this is Sean. 50% chance it's Slav. And the phone lines are open. 1-888-949-2969. Hello.
Danny, it's Sean. How you
it's
doing,
Sean.
buddy?
What's up, Sean? How you doing, man? Slav will be
Nothing,
next.
man. Oh, I'm good, man. Hey, so, sorry about last week. I had a case of the Keys disease, my man.
The which disease?
the Keys disease.
Oh,
You go down
gotcha.
to the Florida Keys, you kind of
Right.
you kind of just get all fucked up.
Yeah. I bet. Getting into that Jimmy Buffett.
The Salt Life lifestyle, my man.
I know, man.
So like on that Monday when I called you, bro, I went out fishing. We went out for tarpon fishing, and we were only supposed to be out there for 6 hours. We ended up being out there for 7.5 hours.
Okay.
And then as soon as we got back to port, immediately started drinking, and that's how we go. But
yeah, and that's the thing. That sun gets you all day, right? That's a big factor with drinking is you get so much sun, and the alcohol just kind of hits you different.
Yeah, well, today my entire thigh has just started to peel. It's disgusting.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I got cooked, but whatever, man. It was a good time. Did you
catch anything?
You've never been to Key West yet?
I've never been. Honestly, I've always I've wanted to go there. I've never been.
Okay, so that day I caught some kind of a grouper I caught a mangrove snapper. And I hooked into a tarpon, and then my mom's husband hooked into about an 80-pound tarpon, and we chased it around the bay for about 40 minutes. And it ran into the dock at the Coast Guard and snapped off, and then we got accosted for being too close to restricted water.
Oh, thought you were fucking coke smugglers, probably.
Something like that. But no, Danny. So if you've never been down there, I would recommend going down just because the food is absolutely killer. There's live music at almost every single bar, and I mean it's dog friendly if you wanted to take Connor down there.
Well, Connor like that. Connor likes the sound of it. Yeah.
Yeah, man, I think you should go.
I love Florida, and my wife's from Tampa, so I'm always in Florida, but just never made it down to the Keys. I've suggested it actually. I actually suggested it for our honeymoon, and my wife's like, I'm not going to Florida for a fucking honeymoon. I go, it'll be nice. And she's like, no. And then we went somewhere that was exactly like it.
I think Key West is like completely different than regular mainland Florida.
That's what I've heard.
Kind of state of mind.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely chill. It's cool as fuck, man. I think, and Tom Dustin, the owner of the club down there, he's the easiest guy to talk to. Him and his wife, Kristen, they were both absolutely accommodating. They were cool as shit. So
nice.
I mean,
he's the guy who Joe listed the documentary on, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And you know what? He's such a sweetheart. He was so nice. So yeah, I think it would be probably pretty easy for you to fill out some shows. And I mean, there's a weird group of people down that are super into comedy. So it's not like the shows are ever going to be empty.
Yeah.
I hit that Sunday night show for Berg, and it was weird because there was only 17 people there. But I mean, it kind of made sense. Sunday night.
Yeah, Sunday night is generally
late
like
show.
Yeah, that makes sense. But yeah, I mean, I'll try and get out there. I'll try and work that club. That'll be a good excuse to go there.
Absolutely, dude. Oh, brother. I mean, the beaches there aren't very good because it's kind of all man-made. But if you like chilling, drinking, and listening to tunes, absolutely.
Yeah, I'm kind of a pool guy, to be honest. I feel trashy about it, but I'll go places with nice beaches, and I'll just go to the pool.
We had a pool in the White Trash Lotus.
Oh, I love it. Literally, I'll go to like nice places, and they're like, people will be like, "Did you go to the beach?" And I'm like, "No, I fucking hate the beach." I don't hate the beach, but
no, we spent the beaches down there kind of suck, so we did spend a whole lot of time at the pool.
Yeah.
But one bad thing about it this time we were down there, they didn't spray for bugs. So Louis J. Gomez talked about the no-see-ums down there.
Okay.
In Jamaica.
Yeah.
They were wild in Key West. Like me and my girl, we both got destroyed by them.
They bite you?
By Thursday, we're like, "Fuck this! I just want to go home." Oh yeah, like welt size. They look like giant flea bites, and they're just as itchy. Terrible.
No-see-ums. I've never heard of that.
Yeah, they're actually called biting midges, but like whatever.
Okay.
That plus the mosquitoes, it kind of sucks.
Biting midges. Yeah, that sucks. Yeah, that would ruin a whole trip.
Well,
are they only out at night or during the day?
No, they're out in the morning and in the evening. So the two times where we wanted to actually go out walking because it was so fucking hot the entire time.
Oh, that sucks.
It was about, I think it was 93 degrees on Friday when we left, and then when we landed in Pittsburgh, it was 58 degrees. It was such a shock.
Oh, that sucks. Yeah. Yeah, it's been, apparently in Toronto, it's been fucking freezing. It was like 8 degrees Celsius there the other day, which is like, I don't know, 40 or something.
Brother, I would have preferred the 40 degrees down there in Paradise, man. It was brutal.
Yeah, it's too hot.
Like, usually when we go down there, we can walk around and just make it the whole time. But like this time we were down there, it was so fucking hot. We got Ubers back and forth a few times.
Ah, gotcha.
Yeah, it was just so brutal. But hey, man, I love you. I love the show. I'll talk to you later.
Dog. Love you, man. All right, that was Sean. Let's go to Slav. Phone lines are open. 1-888-949-2969. Let's talk to Slav here. Slav.
Hello.
What's up?
Hey, Danny. I think you might be in that majority population of people who did not see the entire body cam footage of Gorilla Floyd.
I've seen it. What do you mean?
No, what? You only saw that 8-minute video? You didn't see the whole 20-minute body cam video?
I've seen the interaction when he's like put in the car. I'm not saying George Floyd was a good guy. Just think of it logically. Do you think that George Floyd would have died that day had that interaction not happened? Would he have just still died that day? No. Come on.
Yes, absolutely. No, actually, absolutely, he would have.
No fucking way. He just happened. He was just like, that was his time to go, and the biggest coincidence of all time happened.
I mean, look, you either swallow a whole bag. I mean, dude, he was still alive at the hospital.
I understand.
You know that, right?
Yeah. I know he didn't. I know he didn't die on that spot.
Yeah. So first off, how is Chauvin guilty of anything? The only mistake Chauvin ever did was take him out of the car. That's the only training protocol he broke.
Sure.
He should be punished for that, for taking him out of the car, because that's endangering the person who's is under his detainment.
Yeah. That was more of a policy violation. Anyways, all I'm saying, I'm not doubting that he was on all sorts of drugs. I'm not doubting that he had all sorts of medical conditions. All I'm saying is that had the guy at the store not noticed that he had a fake $20 bill, he probably would not have died that day. A Palestinian.
Danny, do you know what happens to a business if they turn in counterfeit money?
No, I don't.
Well, can you imagine?
Secret Service shows up?
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't think you get in trouble for turning in counterfeit money, though, as a business. You might be a pain in your ass because they're like, we need to see where'd you get this from, see some tapes or whatnot, but you're not going to get in trouble for turning in counterfeit money.
I'm not surprised by all this.
I tried to deposit counterfeit money at the bank when I was a kid, not knowing, because I sold something and someone paid me with counterfeit $50 Canadian bills. I didn't know. And I went to the bank and I deposited. I was probably like 16. And they just called me and they're like, yo, those were fake.
Note? Yeah, isn't the 50-pound note and the 50 Canadian dollars, isn't that in y'all's Commonwealth culture of being criminally associated?
No. What do you mean? What? Never heard this before.
Yeah, like in England. Yeah, in England, some people consider like only criminals pay was only 50-pound notes. And I thought that
never. Well, no. The thing with criminals in Canada, this is actually pretty interesting in Canada. So Canada used to have, it's been taken out of circulation, but Canada used to have a $1,000 bill that is still legal. That's still legal tender. I had a friend of mine. This is the most Jewish shit you'll ever hear. But I had a friend of mine who was like incredibly wealthy. Like he came from this like super wealthy family, and for his bar mitzvah, his grandfather gave him, and this is in 1996. His grandfather gave him 10 $1,000 bills for his bar mitzvah. which is crazy. But so the $1,000 bills have obviously, they don't make them anymore, but they organized crime in Canada basically like has all the ones that are left, essentially, all the $1,000 bills. Because if you ever take one to a bank and deposit it, they'll deposit it, but then it gets sent off to like the whatever Canadian Mint and they destroy them. So that's one less in circulation. But the organized crime keeps them because essentially it's like the easiest way to move cash around. Because you could have like a tiny little thing and have literally like, you know, $100,000, $200,000, and it's tiny. So literally like all the $1,000 bills left in Canada are all just in the hands of criminals, essentially, who just use them to transport money.
Right.
Yeah.
And how do you consider it honorable that Floyd saying that he took the charge for being, you know, they were impersonating water inspector workers.
Slav, that was a
PM.
joke.
Well,
that was, I didn't actually,
okay.
I
Well,
don't
I mean-
actually consider it honorable. That was, I
Oh.
think there was a decent slathering of sarcasm on that. I hope you caught that. I hope.
Yeah, I was about to say George Floyd might have been your wife's boyfriend.
I hope you guys weren't like, is Danny serious? He thinks George Floyd's a good guy because he took a charge?
Yeah,
if one of my friends did that, I'd be like, dude, that's fucked up. I'm not going to jail for you. Why would you do that?
Yeah, well, I mean, the police aren't our friends, but I'm really glad that body cameras have been implemented because it really shows the truth of how these certain breeds behave in public. So,
sure.
Yeah.
I mean, again, George Floyd, not a good guy. Not a good guy. Not saying, I never said he was a good guy. I'm not saying he was a good guy. My only contention is, would he have lived that day, May 26th, 2020? Would he have lived to see May 27th had he not had that interaction with the police? My contention is that yes, I do think so.
I'll just politely disagree.
Okay. I mean, again, this is like, this is like armchair quarterback and fantasy sports stuff. You go, there's no real right answer here. There's no way to know. So,
I mean, if you just look at like his usual day-to-day activities, if it wasn't that, it would have been something else.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think he would have lived long. I don't think he would have lived a long life. That's for sure.
I mean, at the end of the day, it was everything that happened afterwards was never worth it. The city's burning
hell
down.
no. Hell no. That was fucking insanity. That was, I mean, the whole thing was crazy. Like, literally every Target had to board themselves up because they're like, why? Because a black guy died in Minnesota. So then, like, every Target nationwide has to board themselves up. You're like, how are those two things related?
Well, you seen the movie, Dead Presidents? Dang.
That President's a good movie, though.
Oh, it has one of the best soundtracks, like the most American soundtrack, like that's representative of like American pop culture music. Oh, you seen the movie Paid in Full, right?
I don't think so. Who's that with?
But yeah, it's dude, I can't.
Mekhi Phifer and Cameron? No, I have not seen any movies with Cameron. I like Wood Harris though.
Yeah, you should do. It is an excellent black movie. You should see it, but there's a scene in there where
it's not like shitty like Belly, is it?
No. It's excellent, and I don't think Belly wasn't
that bad. I think Belly. Yeah. I haven't seen Belly since it came out. It was quite the rage at the time, obviously because it was Nas and DMX. But I think if I watch Belly right now, I'd be like, that is such a piece of shit. But maybe not.
Yeah. I mean, there's this Belly 2. I'm not going to watch that.
That I am not going to watch. I will not be watching Belly 2.
Yeah.
Belly 2 Millionaire Boys Club with The Game. I'll pass on that. Oh, Michael Kenneth Williams, though.
Yeah, but what is it? Paid in Full. It's a very excellent film. Put it on your recommended watching list. And it's actually based somewhat on a true story of like real drug dealers that were operating in New York. But there's a scene in there where the main character Ace, he just survived being robbed and shot in the head.
Okay.
And his buddy is like, they're all talking, and Ace was telling them, dude, I'm done with the game, because they're all selling coke. Like, he used to just be like a guy working at the dry cleaners, and he just got involved by happenstance in selling coke and being like the only guy in that part of town doing it with the best connection. And he's like, I'm out of it. And he's like, oh, why? He's like, I got shot. And he's like, and my favorite line from them is his buddy was like, niggas get shot every day, B. You'll be all right. So it's like this whole thing.
They do be getting shot every day.
Yeah, so like it's like I never understood like the whole thing of Black Lives Matter. Like,
sure,
they literally don't. 96% of black homicides are committed by other blacks.
Yeah. Also, it was a huge scam.
Yeah, it's. I think it's just more of a. I think the problem is it's not like people aren't. I mean, yeah, the whole Chris Rock joke. No, like one, not the other. Blah blah blah. But I think it's more of their unwillingness to condemn and call out their own. Like honestly, if you look at all of culture in America and North America in general, it's only white people who can criticize their own. You never see the blacks who do criticize their own. They get called sellouts, coons, Uncle Tom.
It's true. It is true.
You know.
Yeah, that is true. That is one of the
so I think,
better parts you've made.
There'll be a little bit more acceptance when amongst others.
Sure. I mean, that's the thing. There are obviously some who do that, but yeah, it's a tight-knit community, even though they're all very different, but it is true.
Yeah.
All right, Slav.
Well, hey, I'm glad that your dog has more health insurance than me. So.
He has zero health insurance. Actually, it is all out of pocket. I wish my wife had the fucking forethought to get pet insurance, even though I feel like
He's a cardiologist.
I'm aware.
My doctor is the gym. Huh?
Yeah, I'm aware he has a cardiologist, and we pay for it out of pocket. There's no fucking insurance on it.
Yeah, dude, bro, your dog, just take him off the seed oils, put him on tallow.
You know what's a weird thing actually is we hired a nutritionist. You'll hate to hear this. We hired a nutritionist to make him his food. Well, here's the thing, because he has the bladder stones, he has to have very specific ratios of his macronutrients in order, and in her defense, it wasn't super expensive. It was like, I think it was $150 or something. And this was like 2-3 years ago. We haven't used her since, but he has not had an issue with his blood. He hasn't pissed blood once since we put him on this diet. So like it worked, but one of the ingredients in it is canola oil. It's a seed oil. Yeah. I always thought it was weird too, because I was like, wouldn't it be better like olive oil? And I can't remember the explanation, but because I'm like, we can afford.
No, dude, just beef tallow.
Yeah, beef
tallow for everything. Check out this place down here in Texas, Ungovernable Project. I bought some from them, and I met Bryce Mitchell.
Yeah, I've never actually cooked with beef tallow, but I should get some. I hear it's got a high smoke point. Yeah, you can use it for everything.
Baking. You can use it for like hair and skin. Lube up, bro.
It's the new coconut oil. Yeah,
it's the original coconut oil.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if coconuts. I feel like coconuts probably predated cows, and the rendering of their fat, but maybe not. All right, Slav. I gotta take some more calls. Good talking to you.
Later.
Take care. Slav, everybody. Mark says, I cook with it. It's great. Don't use it as lube unless you want your wife smelling like a farm stand. Too late, Chris. I mean, Mark. Too late. Smells like a barn. Speaking of Chris, we have our good friend Chris from Dallas. Chris, are you there?
Good evening, Danny. It's me.
How are you doing, Chris?
You know what, Danny? I'm hanging in there. Oftentimes when I call into this program, there's an underlying emotions of like fear, dread, pessimism, cynicism that sort of blanket my opinions. This time I'm feeling good, man. Feel like I have things to look forward to this time around.
Excellent. I'm glad to hear that. How's the? You have any days clean?
Yeah, man. The truth be told, I called you last week and I said that like that 4-day stretch of clean time that I was on was like the longest that I had in 2 years.
Yeah.
I wish I could say I've extended that to 11 or whatever. But I slipped up once. I mean, since we last spoke, which was a week ago, I got 1 single gram of heroin for $40.
Seems like a good deal.
And I kind of I had basically largely reset my tolerance. In ordinary times, I would have really been hyped, like I have, a baby's tolerance. And dude, it was like underwhelming. I had the fear of God put into me by black people that, like, I'm thanking them for it. I mean,
Sure.
I've never been more committed to, look, I mean, I've just been surrounded by, like, the recovery circles, the Narcotics Anonymous, the sober talk. Like, just the fact is, like, everybody acknowledges what people like Steve-O have done, for instance. It's awesome. It's commendable and like it's great, but it's fucking annoying, right?
Sure.
Like it just is, and it's no less annoying when you're inside of it, like as a newly recovering addict. So don't expect me to like completely switch up my whole game. You can become a annoying faggot really quick that way.
Yeah, hey man, you don't need to make this your cause by any stretch. You do not need to make this your purpose in life to help other people. You just have a specific issue that you need to deal with. That's what we gotta. That's what we gotta figure out here. So, but does your so do you? If you do, you're saying you had a little break and your tolerance kind of reset. When you do it again, do you suffer from the same withdrawals?
Yeah, so that's tough. Like, there's like a whole junkie science underpinning this conversation, and everybody has their own opinion. But do you reset your withdrawals 100%? No, but you also set yourself back as well, because like there's the opioid receptors haven't completely had a chance to knock off the remaining the connections being made or what have you.
Sure.
And even like the conversation about like George Floyd's toxicology report, for instance, it's easy to become annoyed by it because nobody really knows what they're talking about, but both sides talk as if they have 100% conviction and like exactly the point that is that they're arguing. But like when people, for instance, say like, well, he had fentanyl in his system. For instance, I think he's a junkie piece of shit who OD'd and like, but like, it's true that like he could have 20 times the LD50, right? Like the amount needed for a normal person to overdose in his system at the time he died, and still technically not have died from it. Just
because he just has a super
bioavailability and stuff. Yeah. But so no, but I mean, one time, when you hear about people ODing because they've returned after a break or an absence from their drug addiction, that happens all the time. I went to rehab in California in 2019. At one point in time, the sober living I was a part of afterwards, like the phase 3. So there was 18 of us. 9 of them are dead.
Wow.
Literally. And one of them was this guy Conroe, who was super cool. And he had I was just behind him in like the med line at 7:30 that morning. And then he relapsed, and then we were all eating breakfast at like 9. And we got word that he'd already died.
Wow.
He decided to leave. He said, fuck it, I'm out of here. Shortly after we woke up, and yeah, he was gone that quick. And that's the nature of tolerance. I didn't call you to talk about drugs, though.
Sure. I mean, I will say, though, just not to cut you off, but you can talk about whatever you want after this, but it is incredible how the pull of opioids, where you could be like, I know so many people who died, and you're just like, I still got it. It still has that pull on you.
That's just it, man. I mean,
like all the crazy stories you got.
Like,
yeah.
Yeah. It's, I mean, now, like, that one relapse I had, it wasn't enough to restart my withdrawals. The physical stuff is now largely over of my withdrawal symptoms, which is awesome. However, it's like the mental stuff, and it's just the
of course. Well, you're saying you got triggered. Yeah, you got triggered by a song last time. So how many days? How many days do you have right now?
I relapsed on like Friday, so like I'm not even really counting the days anymore. But like I've done what I mean. The fact is, I told you I bought 1 gram of H on my one relapse since we spoke last. I ordinarily would have been buying like 3 of those a day every day since we last spoke. So
holy shit,
it's a big deal. But it's just a mental. It's really just like, okay, so I'm about to turn 30, like next week, and like I don't know. In the evening, I just find myself like really craving heroin. Anyway, I didn't call you to talk about drugs today. Instead, is it okay if I talk about chicks?
Yeah, hell yeah.
Okay, man. Well,
thing's been a real sausage Jew fest all night.
Okay, straight up. Well, I have a pretty good history with women. Like I cleaned up in college and stuff. But and I've told you before, like the best I ever did with chicks was when I was on dope.
Yeah. Well,
you just give off like they love it when you don't care about them.
Right. Yeah. When there's something you love more than their pussy.
They love it.
Yeah.
And anyways, well, I dated a woman for like 4 years, and I was convinced I was going to marry her. And we had problems and stuff. But she's the hottest woman I've ever been with, like hands down, objectively gorgeous. She had some of her own problems with substance abuse, but in the way a woman does, right? So like, she drank too much wine and whatnot, but it was hard to take that seriously when I had my own issues going on.
But not opiates.
No.
Okay.
You know, she'd like do coke 3 times a year when it'd be offered to her on New Year's or something, but that's
that's whatever.
And things like really went south at the end, like when I was at my rock bottom, and that was like legal problems and whatnot, and but things just fell apart. Anyways, she, in the meantime, I haven't spoken to her really since like 2021. And I guess she got married. She had a couple of kids. And I'm now learning that she got divorced.
Oh.
And she's reaching out to me.
God damn it. She did all of that in 4 years?
I know.
She's fucking
and not just
speedrunning.
one kid, like a couple of them.
She had 2 kids and got married and divorced in 4 years. God damn it.
Yeah. Well, in the past, like, she'd reached out to me, like, 4 or 5 times since we last spoke 4 years ago. Each time when I would ignore her, it gave me like major wind in my sails.
Sure.
Like it was like a big time W for me that, it's just impossible for me to not view all of this through the lens, which is she's the hottest girl I've ever hooked up with. Like, I feel very good about that.
Sure. That's understandable.
She's very hot.
Okay, question that everybody wants to know. Is she still hot?
Let's hear it. Oh, she's had a couple of kids, but she's she's definitely attractive, less so, right? Yeah, okay. I mean,
all right.
And it's like,
hey man, time's tough on everybody, but
I told you, I'm turning like 30, like she's got like 32, that window between 25 and 30. I mean,
sure. With 2 kids, I mean, 2 kids isn't helping anything. Now, are you thinking of kind of entertaining this?
Well, she's been reaching out to me lately, and she's been talking to me, and it first started with she just got me on a particularly bad night where I'm sure I was kicking dope, and I gave in and I did reply, which I just never really planned on it, and
that's okay.
This was the first time I'd actually seriously I looked up her Facebook and shit, and I was like, oh wow, she has kids. But what first was me just sending a casual reply to her or what have you. Now she's texting me every day, and she's calling me, and I just
those kids need a daddy.
She would send me a photo of her where she's looking particularly good, and her kid in a Dallas Stars jersey, and me, it's very fan, cute, like
Sure.
So I kind of just a text default reply of very cute. That's nice. I didn't really expect that to go anywhere else. She's parlayed that into texting me every day now. And she has been trying to get together and make weekend plans and all of this. And this is my first time ever dealing with a mom like that.
Yeah,
you know
I mean, that is a weird one because I don't know how that kind of fits into, obviously, I mean, you're not expected to be a dad right away, but obviously if this were to progress, then, you're going to be a stepdad to 2 kids. What's the deal with the real dad? What's the real deal with the real dad? You have any insight there?
Yeah, so when we talked on the phone, I sort of just swerved that I just don't care to hear about who he is. I don't know his name. I don't even know what he looks like because I don't really care to. But she's given me enough details. She uses words like scumbag and absent and stuff like that. But he is white. He is white.
That's something, I guess.
It's something. It's a lot. We wouldn't be having this conversation otherwise.
Vincent says, do not get in a relationship with this succubus. Vincent knows.
Yeah, man. I'm not, I've been, on a bit of a dry streak lately. And so.
Oh, that's the downfall of a million men.
She's throwing pussy at me, dude.
I do. That has been the downfall of a millions of great men is a temporary dry spell. And they wind up fucking wifing up a chick with 2 kids.
Yeah.
Who's hot.
Yeah. As hot as she can be with those kids at 30, right? So, let's put things in perspective here.
Yeah.
And so that's kind of where I'm at. It's even entertaining it, I feel, is not just a waste of my time, but could potentially seriously backfire. The last thing I want I actually
maybe take I maybe take back what I said. You might want to avoid this because if you could just go get a chick who's even 70% as hot, you would not even consider this. Because you didn't mention that you guys had a lot of fun or anything. You're just she's really hot. And she's less hot, and she has 2 kids now. And it seems like you're only entertaining this because you have nothing better. So I think, and you're saying you never really had a problem with this kind of thing. I think, and you obviously mentioned in the past that the opioids kind of sap your libido. So it seems like maybe the plan here is just to try and get a little spell together of being off opioids. Find a chick who's hot, who's not cool with you doing opioids, because that'll be a further incentive for you to stay off of it. And then you don't kind of fall back into this scenario. Because, this could be... Vincent says he knows. Yeah, this could be bad. And then if it didn't work out,
go sideways.
It could go sideways, and then also she's obviously cool with you being on opioids, which is not good.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Whenever you go to rehab, like I remember, they all tell me they're like the two things that cause you to relapse are pink and green. And they all seem to agree on that. Is if you come into money for the first time or pussy, those are the two things that cause you to relapse. And they all sort of say, give it a year after you clean up before you seriously pursue relationships like that.
Yeah, you know what? I know this. Yeah, it sounds kind of like maybe a platitude or whatever, but like you need to focus on yourself here. You need to just you have a singular goal at hand right now, which is to just get off the shit. And then look, you'll be 31. Like if you get a year and you'll be 31. There's no difference between being 30 and 31. None whatsoever. And she'll still be there. Her kids will be a little older. They'll probably be less of a nightmare to deal with. She'll look the same.
Did you experience any sort of existential dread when you were turning 30 that like you'd otherwise not really experience prior?
I didn't really have any existential dread. I just remember being like, oh, I'm 30 now. It definitely felt weird because I think you just never think when you're in your 20s, you're never going to be 30, I guess. When I turned 40, I didn't even give a shit. I was just like, whatever.
Yeah.
But when I turned 30, yeah, because it is like, you're like, oh, I'm kind of like an adult now, even though there's no difference from being 29 and 30. You're just like, oh, things seem a little different. But that goes away pretty quickly. I wouldn't worry about it. I wouldn't even think about it. You have one thing you should care about. There's literally one thing in your life. There's literally one thing in your life you should care about, and it's not turning 30. It's not doing heroin.
That's a great. Yeah, man. It sounds so dumb, and it sounds so retarded, and it's so acknowledging this out loud. But like, in the past, like I'd been able to leverage like my family and rehab, and I had all these like support services built up around me that really helped me prioritize staying clean. This time around, I don't have anybody. I had low value mail with Danny Polishchuk, and I annoyed Derek Drescher in his DMs.
That's fine. You don't annoy him. You don't annoy him.
But being able to call into this show is awesome. And hearing you just give me the gentle reminder, which is just like, dude, all this other stuff you talk about, like, it's chalked. It's completely over. It's cooked unless you get off this dope.
Yeah, for sure.
That was enough.
None of this shit's
important.
None of this shit's important. When do you turn 30?
Next week.
Next week. Okay, so you've been clean for 3 days now. You could turn 30 being clean for 10 days. That should be, you should have one goal in your life at this moment, and it should be turning 30 and being clean for 10 days. That's it.
Man, I feel guilty because this has been my most boring call yet.
It's good. It's good stuff. It's this you're talking about the Jews, so.
Yeah, it's true. I'll be going to the casino with my bros, and I want a number 1 through 36 for Danny to throw on the roulette table.
12.
12, huh?
12. My birthday's 12/12.
We're feeling 12.
Whenever I play roulette, I always play 12. I used to have this thing. It was so funny. Whenever I left a casino and you get change, you have some change, and I'd always like keep one like $5, like a $25 chip, and I'd put it on 12 on my way out, and I like don't think I won it for must have been 10 years, and then one time I fucking hit $25 on 12. I don't know what it pays.
Hell yeah. I guess one because this is it's like an interesting conversation, entertain.
Yeah.
So these guys in New Orleans, it's funny just how retarded they were with their prison escape.
Yeah, that was really stupid. Have they caught them all?
I'm sure. I think they're down to like 7 or 8 of them are caught.
Okay.
But it's only a matter of time. If like have you tried entertaining this beyond just like exactly what would Danny Polishchuk do? Obviously, you need money, but if you were to be one of those 9 who busted out, and your goal is to not get caught, what do you do? Seriously.
I mean, Ryan and I had this conversation on the Boys Cast last week. I imagine that's what you're referencing. I don't know if you are, but we had this conversation. Ryan thought it would just be the easiest thing in the world to just like break out of jail and just like you're scot-free. I don't know what I would do because again, it's like you need to have, I don't know where you get money from. Like you need cash or like Visa debit cards. So you can get you basically need a Visa debit card so you can get a phone. Like you can't, there's no hotels you can stay at without some piece of ID. I don't think I've checked in a hotel in forever that didn't request ID and a credit card for incidentals. So you can't stay at hotels. You probably can't even stay in shelters. Like you're basically camping. I mean, I guess the goal would be to make it to Mexico. If you can get to Mexico, that would be the goal. But again, I don't know.
That's got to be the goal, right?
I don't know how you support yourself. Like you have to have with the guy from the Jinx, whatever his name was. It's like he still had a Durst or whatever. He still had bags of cash. So, you could, I'm sure there's some sort of reverse coyote. I don't know what it's like going into Mexico. Like if you go to Mexico from Tijuana, like I assume they ask for ID for this specific reason. So like even if you walk over, so you probably need like a reverse coyote to get you into Mexico. The further you got into Central America, I feel like the safer you'd be, but then you're probably like, again, what do you do there? Like I don't speak Spanish. Like,
that's just it. It's like, what's the next step? What's your life even look like then?
Yeah.
It's a fun hypothetical, like to ponder into to sort of speculate on while like passing a blunt around or what have you. But man, now more than ever in the age of Palantir with license plate readers and facial recognition technology, I took a domestic flight just 2 months ago. And like I got my face scanned like 3 times. Like
yeah. Oh, and that's when you're voluntarily scanning your face. That's not just you walking around the airport. I was at a fucking casino when I was in Vegas, and we were at a casino at the Cosmo or maybe the Aria or something. And there was a guy beside me. I was playing this machine or whatever, and there's a guy beside me, and then literally fucking 10 security guards show up. This is at the Cosmo. 10 security guards show up, and they go, "Sir, you have to leave right now." And he's like, "What?" And they're like, "You're banned from this casino." And he's like, "What? What the fuck did I do?" And he started getting this whole thing with them about how he is suing the former CEO of MGM, but he was staying at the Cosmo. So he was staying at the Cosmo. They let him check into the hotel. For some reason, I guess he didn't get flagged. He checked into the hotel and then he was on the casino floor and literally just like within minutes just gets swarmed by all these security. And
what?
Yeah. And they're like, grab your shit. You got to go right now. And he's like, I have a room at the hotel. And they go, we'll escort you to fucking, you're like, you cannot be on the premises. And he's like, why'd they let me check in? They're like, we don't know, but you got to go right now.
That is a fucking trip, dude.
Yeah. And whatever they have at the fucking casino, they have 10 times that at the airport. For sure. Anyways, Chris, I got to let you go. I got a million people waiting.
Of course. I appreciate it. Thanks,
Chris, I'm going to talk to you in a week on your birthday. You will not have done heroin for 10 days or any opiates.
I can't wait.
Deal.
Good looking out, man. Take care.
Later. Chris, everybody. All right. Phone lines are closed. We will get to everybody who's waiting, and please wait patiently. We will get to you all. We got 6 of you. Perfect. Aaron, what's up, man?
Hey, how you doing?
Good. How are you?
Yep, good. I guess you're talking about the George Floyd thing?
Yeah. 5 years. 5 long years.
You know what's really weird is I was able to kind of predict this by about 2 years, and then I got to see it unfold. And I don't know how I did it, but it wasn't exactly, but it was really close. Because I knew there would be some kind of weird civil unrest. And I literally was calling congressmen and mayors and anybody, a radio show host, anybody I could call to try to get through to warn people about that happening. And I wanted to get people prepared. And I wrote down the day of my prediction and then the day everybody started reporting about it. And it was about 2 years.
What civil unrest are you referencing? Not the riots and
the
stuff.
George Floyd, the riots and stuff, the civil unrest.
You were calling in like 2018 about this.
Yeah, it was like 2 years before that happened, and now it's like 5 years after. And so I kind of predicted it, watched it unfold, see how it all went down. And then now I even try to make new predictions, but I feel like I'm not as good at making predictions as I was then, because watching all this unfold has like kind of demoralized me, to be honest. You know?
Because the fact is, you were like, I knew this was going to happen, and there was nothing I could do about it.
Yeah, and
I mean, what could you possibly do though, other than like someone listens to you and then they go, okay, well, instate martial law or something. You're like, it's literally, you know.
I just figured I could get everybody ready, and so now I try to.
All right, well, we want your new predictions, Aaron. Let me tell you, everybody's eagerly waiting for your new predictions.
Yes, thank you. So if I could get everybody ready for the new event, I don't know if my predictions are going to be as right as they were, you know, that is so, but my new prediction is they've dumbed everybody down, right? I don't know what they're doing, but like RFK's talking about, you know, removing chemicals from our food that's dumbing us down, and I'm sure that there's like a broad spectrum of stuff they're doing to dumb us down. And so my next prediction is they dumb us down to the point it creates a crisis to where people cannot defend themselves, their family, the truth, that people can't understand the truth, that people worship lies and propaganda. You know, the people look at the media and they believe in the media and they think they're informed, and really they're not. They're literally brainwashed and
I'd say that was the case. I mean, I would say the trust in media is probably the lowest it's been in a very long time. So if anything, some ground's being made up there. Like I'd say, you know, if you talk 20 years ago, people were like, yeah, the media would never lie to us.
Yeah.
Yeah. But so what do you think? So you basically think everybody's getting dumbed down, which I definitely agree with you.
They're going to dumb everybody down to the point it creates a crisis. And then that crisis, they'll need to elect a savior, and it'll be probably some kind of communist savior, and they'll want to have a dictator like a Mussolini or a Hitler or a Stalin or a Mao. And so what we're facing, these next steps are literally like Hitler with the brown shirts, or Tiananmen Square, or something like that.
Do you have any?
Probably just lost some social.
Do you have any idea what the crisis will be? Any thoughts on that?
Well, I don't know. If I can say, I like Alex, and I like he's been making, and the other guy, they were making, what was that?
Because I know Alex Jones was predicting like all the firebombing of the black churches. That never happened. He said that would happen by now.
It's something. So I think he woke up because they sued him for more money than all the world, and I don't think he gets a lot of people calling him, telling him things. But he's got to run his show. He's got to do all this stuff. So he can't sit down and really analyze all this information he's getting. And I think he's making good predictions. But I have my own prediction that's different than his. And my true prediction is they dumb everybody down to the point it creates a crisis. And that society collapses because it cannot function because everybody's been dumbed down.
Yeah. I mean, I do think about this a lot. This is kind of somewhat similar, but because of the massive, due to COVID, like the massive distrust in, like, you know, medical experts I guess you would say.
I know. That's kind of
if
the
there
thing
was
is-
to really be, like, say there was like a COVID that they told us, like how they explained COVID was, but it actually was, or even worse than COVID, for example. Like, say something, there was some sort of airborne thing or some sort of disease that was going around where they're like,
I
this
believe
is,
this is still
yeah, where they're like, this is
going
really
on.
bad. Like, this is actually really bad, not like really bad how we said COVID was, but this is really bad. And people are just like, yeah, we're not, and they're like, we have a cure for it. And they're just like, so many people are just gonna be like, we're not interested. We're not interested in taking this.
Well, I mean, there's things in there, like there's the SV40, which I think they're calling the spike proteins. Then there's another thing, they have the immortal cells. Then there's like 20 other things in there. And so they're calling it the super cancer. So it's like, they're not, your doctors are not wanting to help you. So what did somebody make when they died from that? What they were giving every doctor that killed somebody $30,000 or something crazy. It's like, so
no, it's like the
hospitals.
hospitals got some sort of fee if someone was
Yeah,
died.
and the doctors, they're not. A doctor's not going to go against his brainwashing because he will lose his license. If any doctor ever dares to speak the truth, they will lose their degree or their thing, and they're not going to want that. You know what I mean? So nobody's going to want to really fight the system in a position of authority like a doctor. You know, you're almost going to have to go to natural medicine, which, you know.
Sure. Well, I mean, Scott Adams just came out last week saying he has stage 4 prostate cancer.
I'm a big fan of Scott Adams, and I noticed something's wrong with him lately. And I actually unsubbed because I said I've watched a lot of people go downhill, and I noticed, I could tell because he said he didn't trust Yuri Bezmenov, and I said no,
yeah, but he said that he tried ivermectin and fenbazidone or something, and he's just like, you tried it for what?
For the thing, because actually about a couple months ago I got infected with the thing for the first time ever.
Oh, really?
And sure enough, I lost smell. I couldn't taste. I got brain fog. It was pretty bad. And so I took ivermectin, and I do have some taste back and smell, and the brain fog scares me because I'm like, dude, I don't want to turn into one of these people. You know what I mean? Like, I think they're turning people into zombies or something, dude.
Yeah. And I mean, even the ivermectin thing, like, I don't, if you're saying that what you have would be colloquially, like, I guess, long COVID or whatever, but like, I don't think they even say that works for that. I don't think anybody says that there's.
Luckily, I don't think I had that. I don't know, but I did get sick a few months ago for the first time in a long time, and I did the little test they got, and it said positive. And I was like, oh no, I finally got it. And it's been how many years, Like,
yeah, it's been like
what, 5 years?
5 years at this point, yeah. I mean, apparently there's a version of COVID in China right now that they call like razor blade throat, is like what they've nicknamed it, because apparently like it's really fucking people up. But all right, Aaron, I gotta let you go. I gotta get to these other callers.
Okay. Well,
Appreciate
thanks
you
for having me on.
Thank you for calling in, man.
Please,
yeah, go ahead.
Please, if anybody could take my advice, get ready.
Okay. Buckle up. All right, Aaron, everybody. We got some super chats. Anton says, there's no God. Reagan says, Canes win. Yeah, I saw that. 3-0. They're going to get destroyed next game. Anton, go out like St. George. Anton, get your Jenny, Forrest. Go get your Jenny, Forrest. That's for Chris. Dylan Farnham says, great, now we have to save him from 2 vices. Yeah, we got to get him off heroin. Vincent says, disappointed to find out Danny follows Logan on IG, but not me. Go follow him anyways for doing dog butt stuff. Follow Logan too. He has a rad car. Vincent, I thought I followed you. And I just did follow you. That's the never mind thing. I spend so little time on Instagram, honestly, like next to none. But I thought I followed you. But don't take it personally. And I did follow you. And go follow Vincent and Logan. All right, some more callers here. This gentleman's been waiting patiently. We got Tony from Arizona. Tony, are you there?
Yeah, Danny, what up?
How's it going, man?
Doing good. So thinking about what that last guy was saying, I don't know. Thinking about like, oh, something big and bad could happen. Like they shut down the internet or something. Everything just changes in life.
Yeah.
I mean, it's hard to play it hoping for, like thinking that's going to come. Like I'd rather just think it's not going to come.
Yeah, I mean, again, it's like you're getting into bunker territory at that point, like off the grid shit.
Yeah.
Where, you know, people do that obviously, where they're like, yeah, and lots of people have done that, where they're like, yo, I'm going to live off the grid and I'm getting a bunker and all the supplies, and that shit never happens. But, you know, I guess the point is you go, well, if it does, they're going to be winning. But
yeah, I mean, down the line, when I get older, if I have a bunch of property, sure, I'll try to maybe, you know, dig a little basement storage, something that could be cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm not at that yet at all.
No, I'm a city bug man,
Yeah.
so I'm just gonna fucking go out and I'm gonna just go as hopefully the bomb lands as close to me as possible.
Well, even you said the Cosmo, how you were there and then that guy got like escorted out. That's one of my favorite casinos. And I just think, I don't know, would anything in, you know, my lifetime happen to just shut down the, like other than COVID, like Rona is the only thing to shut everything down. But other than that, kind of nothing drastic has happened.
Yeah, and it does
So I
seem.
appreciate you talking about that. Also.
Yeah, I have no aversion to it. It does seem like, you know, most people have agreed on both sides of the aisle that they go, we shouldn't have done that. That was a total fuck up to shut everything down. So it seems like, again, and now maybe something else comes up and they go, no, this, like, that's the problem is if there were to ever be something that did actually require that, like nobody's going to do it because even everybody kind of agrees for the most part now. They're like, yeah, we did it wrong. And that's when there's like, I guess the real like long tail danger risk is if this actually does need to be done in some fucking crazy circumstance, nobody's going to go along with it, which then means like maximum damage will happen. Like nobody's going to take the vaccine.
Well, I mean, if they were doing something and they said, okay, well, guys, you actually have to wear masks. Like, I would know masks don't really do anything. So like, what would we
or
have
masks
to do? Like,
or like a
actually lock down
vaccine
and stuff?
or yeah, exactly. Like say there was some scenario where like there was something going on where a lockdown was required. People are like, we're not doing that. It didn't work last time. And they go, no, this time it's serious. And you go, tough shit. We're not doing
I
that.
totally hear you on that. But I mean, the vaccine, if they did one, it'd be a new mRNA one. So obviously everyone would be like, no, dude, I ain't participating.
Exactly.
And then the masking. But other than that, and like social distancing and stuff, I think everyone would really buzz off it. They could only pull that lever one time.
Yeah, you
and
get
I think
one
that
of
there's kind of a
those.
problem with it. What's up?
Yeah, you get to do that once, like in
Yes, exactly.
maybe 2 generations. Like you need probably 2 generations for people to kind of forget that and be like, okay, we'll try this again. But like, you definitely don't get to do that 5 or 10 years later.
Yeah, not at all.
No.
Not at all. And it was okay, but it did kind of come up and then it went away, but it was never really like killed. Like it's never like now it just is a smart thing to wear a mask. Like you were talking about if the guys got out of jail or whatever, they escaped from prison.
Yeah.
They would just obviously be wearing a mask all the time, right? You know, and it's like socially acceptable.
I mean, if that guy at the casino was wearing a mask, they probably would. I don't know how good their facial recognition technology is, but I bet if he was wearing a mask, he probably would have still been fucking gambling.
Yeah, I wonder that. And then okay, just my original thought on calling in today, and I wanted to say shout out to the guy turning 30. Good luck to you, man.
Yeah, good
I'll
luck,
be looking
Chris.
for your call next week. But okay, one little thing on him. When you turn 30, it's your enemy year in the Chinese New Year.
Interesting.
Rube Star's into that, you know?
Yeah. Your enemy.
So yeah,
year.
that's just one thing. But
What does that mean? Your enemy year?
and I don't really know. I
It's
just
like
know
the
that
year of
my
your-
enemy year was 2022.
Okay.
And I just think it means like a bad luck year. I just wanted to clean up my whole act. So maybe that guy can, I don't know, just take it as a, hey, I'm turning 30. That's when my enemy year kind of,
Sure.
because you can either interpret it as when the zodiac starts or blah, blah, blah. But
Gotcha.
just take it as cleaning up your act in your enemy year, looking out for yourself.
Yeah, I mean, whatever excuse you need to give yourself to quit heroin, I just like whatever works, go with it.
Yeah,
If
totally.
that-
And good luck
yeah.
to you.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, My random thought thing was I was going to shout out like Tinfoil Hat. They had a great episode pre-COVID. It was episode 219, and it was about like something called the Gorgon Stare. It was like a drone technology professor came in and did some. He just talked about the biggest drone that they have that's above a bunch of major cities. I don't even really know what major cities has it, but just it can, like, you've seen that movie Eagle Eye, yeah?
Mm-hmm. I believe so, yeah.
Yeah, and it, like in that movie, it's a Shia LaBeouf one where like at all times they're being watched through all the cameras and stuff.
Oh yeah,
like,
I've seen this.
Just trying to relate it to like, I mean, if those guys escaped from prison, wouldn't they just be found like instantly if like actually someone had all the feeds connected like that on everything? Like,
sure.
Are we just imagining that they're all connected, or are they? What do you think?
Well, depends where you are. Like, you know, something like New York City, probably everywhere is covered.
Or Vegas, yeah.
Or Vegas, like, but it's all privately. So, you know, if you're like if you're trying to find someone, you're a police officer, you could probably go to like every establishment and be like, hey, I need your cameras, and they would probably be pretty inefficient. Whereas in China, it's probably like a localized database and you can just get anywhere at once. Or like a lot of areas in like the UK, like in London and stuff, where they have those fucking huge eye things. But here it's like it is all covered by cameras, but it's all probably not decentralized, but like they're not like centralized.
Yeah, and even just how like they're not organized with the cameras. Just one thing from my life, I'll shout out. Just it showed me how little they really do pay attention to the cameras. I got hit by a guy that ran a red light, hit me at I like a green arrow. He had a red light, blew through it, hit me, flipped my car. And then like I went to Italy for like 2 weeks after the car accident. And I came back and I was just expecting, okay, cool. They're going to, everything settled. They're going to have a police report, everything. They still did not like find the guy at fault, but there are cameras up at the light. So I was like, what the fuck? Like, get the cameras. And then they go, oh, it only records for like 2 minutes and then it resets. So we don't save it.
What?
But I think that they do save it. You know, they just didn't give it to me easy, and I don't know.
Did you ever get it?
Cameras everywhere, but
did they ever find the guy?
No, I never got it. And then we had the lawyer had to get like a private investigator to prove that the guy like was at fault.
Wow. So there you go. Yeah, I mean that is a pretty valid point where they expect us to believe we're getting filmed all the time, and then when it comes down to it, they're like, maybe not.
Yeah, we don't have it. We throw it all away. Yeah, sure you do, is what I think. But thank you, Danny, for taking my call. Get on the other callers.
Thanks, Tony.
Peace.
Tony, everybody. All right, we're going to take 4 more calls. Let's go to Danish. Here. Where? I don't know. Thank you, everybody, for joining me on this lovely Memorial Day. Danish!
Hey, Danny.
What's up, man?
So I want to first say to the caller that was 29 years old, I'm the same age as you. And I want to say that, as Danny's been stressing, like, in general, also, the longer you stay away from it, the easier it is to get the urge out of your system. And also your brain's going to think about any excuse that you have to justify it. You know, I'm not saying that you'll use it this way, but whether it's like, oh, this chick, whatever, your brain knows like, oh, you know, this is a convenient thing, and you don't know the chicken or the egg. But I want to ask, for a while I've been thinking about this, probably have talked about it. I stay pretty consistent, but I just, maybe it was past 1-2 years. But since you have family from Ukraine, I was curious, because I know people that call in or have, you know, somewhat similar propensity to you and I are probably more like, I wouldn't say pro-Putin, but to some extent, like I'm personally kind of in the middle where I feel like he definitely did, you know, initiate some stuff. Well, I guess that's undisputed, but
they actually tried to kill him on the weekend. They actually tried to kill Putin on the weekend. Ukraine. They tried to assassinate him this weekend with drones and shit. I mean, the thing is, it's weird because my parents are Ukrainian, but they're actually ethnically Russian. Like they definitely identify more with Russia. But they don't have any like real allegiance to Ukraine or Russia for that matter. They don't like Putin. They don't like Russia, period. But they also are like my dad was the first person to be like, Ukraine is one of the most corrupt fucking places on earth. It's like unbelievably corrupt. Like you can't even understand the scale of it. So I don't know. It's weird because they are from there. Like, they're definitely, if they had to pick a side, they would for sure pick Ukraine, just based on the fact that Russia was the aggressor. And I guess that's the easiest thing to think, but it's not really something my parents care about too much, oddly. So yeah, and I mean, I'd probably be in the same boat. I'm like, Russia's obviously the aggressor. There's obviously all these people who are like, yeah, they were kind of pushed to that, to do what they did. But at the end of the day, like, I don't know. I'm not really a pro-Putin guy.
So, that's fair. I appreciate your thoughts on that. Yeah, I agree. And I just quick throwing this out there, I hate to sound like a liberal, but something that thought then, and I've got a little more conservative now, but I still think that the crackdowns, obviously, to the extent they did it, were unnecessary. But initially, just not knowing what to do, and let's say things, if people did die or whatever, just in the fog of not knowing. I think obviously they extended it, way too far. But I think the beginning parts of it, where people are already, especially the libertarians, which I have comrades that are libertarians, but they right away were like, oh, this is the biggest threat, and it was, personal liberty threat. But I don't know, I can see how.
Yeah, the 2 weeks thing, when they were 2 weeks to flatten the curve, and you're like, all right, this is, it's kind of fucked up. You're like, we'll give you the benefit of the doubt here. But when it was getting into, man, they were locking down, New York and Toronto was locked down, in 2021 still, they had lockdowns. It was getting, that was the whole trucker convoy and stuff, because they just, were getting so crazy with that stuff. But yeah, I agree. The first 2 weeks, you're like, okay, you guys don't know what's going on, and maybe it is better to be cautious. And I know there's that thing where, if you trade liberty for, what is it, security, you'll have neither, or whatever, safety. But, yeah, it's one of those things where I guess the argument is, once you give them those 2 weeks, then they'll go and do it for a year, or some people are they'll do it forever. I remember there were people during COVID who were these lockdowns are never ending. They're going to have these lockdowns for the rest of your life. And you're like, I don't know about that. But there were people who were convinced of it. They go, this will never be over. And you're like, okay. And, they obviously did end. They needed to be forced in some places. And it wasn't a lot of people were really abiding by them, that was a big issue too, is they're we're locking you down. People are like, well, we're doing stuff anyway, so this is pointless. You guys can do this. But there's still people are, having parties and all this shit, and it's kind of pointless. So, but yeah, I do agree with you on that. That I'm like, yeah, you give them some benefit of the doubt, but it's just the extent to which they kind of go crazy with it.
Yeah, that nuanced point. And, I'm not, as conspiratorial as some people that come on, but it is something that I've mentioned even to normies. And I think you've talked about it, where it kind of is convenient that whether or not it was planned, but that China knows that the U.S. are whatever love of freedom, which is true or whatever, that people are not going to be contained, whereas they just can crack down it is. I think I do remember you mentioning.
Well, I said this in reference to they had their trade dispute in 2018, 2019. They had a massive, Trump slapped tariffs on them. They had a massive trade dispute. They were, not wanting to play ball, and then all of a sudden this fucking disease shows up, this virus out of China that kind of puts all that shit on hold. Might just be a coincidence.
Yeah, good point. Yeah, because obviously, militarily, they're not as, well, I'm not saying capable, but they don't tend to attack that much.
No, and that's the thing. I don't know if they knew this, but they're I don't know if they knew the fucking economic damage that they could cause on the United States, because even though everything seems rosy, it's the United States went into an obscene amount of debt over this. It caused all this inflation you're seeing right now is probably linked back to COVID, to be honest, because of just the money printing that went on, this insane money printing to kind of paper over all these problems of the lockdowns and all the businesses getting fucked over. So I don't know if the Chinese government, I don't know if they obviously did this or if they would have had that foresight, but you can kind of, you can see now that releasing a global virus can really kill someone's economy and do real long-term damage. Don't get any ideas, anybody. Danish, I gotta let you go though. I gotta wrap this up. But thanks.
Okay, no problem.
Danish, everybody. All right, we have 3 more callers. We're going a little extra overtime, but I don't mind because it's a holiday. It's my patriotic duty. Charlie from Florida.
Hey, Danny, it's Charlie from Florida. How you doing?
How are you? How is everything in my favorite state?
It's good. Had some margaritas today.
Of course you did. What else would you do in What else would you do in Florida than just relax and have some margs?
There really isn't much else to do except to throw an alligator through a McDonald's window if they don't give you enough sweet and sour sauces.
Hey man,
there is
that. Is that a thing that actually happened?
There's a story. I don't know if that actually it happened or if it was just a made up story.
That's
but
Florida
I did see a
lore.
story like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what I wanted to ask kind of what you thought of. I don't know if you saw that they were doing like an AI thing. I think I've talked to you about this before, but they were doing like this thing on Twitter where they were showing how they could,
VO3. It's
it's
Google's new
stand-up comedy.
Dude, that shit is fucking crazy. Like, I don't want to be like a doomer, but that's really
right.
The beginning of the end. I mean, I don't like. There's so many signals right now coming out where you're like the not so distant future is not going to resemble the like there's going to be so many like massive changes. Like Waymo just came out and they basically like their rides, the Waymo rides in like San Francisco, like the chart of Waymo rides has basically gone like almost parabolic. Like they went from like 500,000 users to like 700,000 users. Like, I mean, there's going to be no Uber drivers, no taxi drivers in the United States of America in like 10 years, 5 years maybe.
I can't believe people would want to get into a driverless car.
Here's the thing. I agree, but once you're like, okay, they've been doing this for 10 years and there hasn't been an accident or there's been less accidents than a driver car, and you're like, there's all the downsides of getting a driver, and you're just like, dude, people will, like, nobody wants to be the early adopters of this, but once it hits some sort of critical mass, people are like, yeah, what's wrong with it? Sounds great. But you're like, I mean, the main issue obviously is you're like, this is probably the employment of potentially millions of people in this country. We're talking like millions of people. Like if you remove all the Uber drivers, taxi drivers, potentially you got to think people who deliver food will be next. Like that's going to replace food delivery. I'm sure they'll figure out a way to deliver your food without a person. You're like, this is millions of people who are like, what are they going to do? This isn't like, killing off some small industry slowly. You're like, this is a huge industry that you were just literally not downsizing, you're just getting rid of. And then to the AI shit. So for people who don't know, Google just came out with this giant AI suite, all this stuff. It's to use it, it's $250 a month. You get like 150 8-second videos, but they had one where it's like a guy doing stand-up comedy in a club, and it looks really good. It looks amazing. Like if you told me, like you can maybe kind of tell it's AI, but 99% of people would not be able to tell it's AI. Now, it can only do 8-second videos, which is not that it's a limiting factor because eventually it'll be able to do 10-minute videos. But they're probably pretty expensive to make. Like I think to make like a couple minutes of video ends up being like $30 or something. So it's not like, but look, if your actual like work in production is way cheaper than hiring real actors. And I mean, we'll see in not that long. Once it extends, like if it can extend from 8 seconds to say 2 minutes, maybe it doesn't even need to be 2 minutes because you can get different shots. Like you can make a full fucking movie, like for probably $5,000. Like no problem.
The thing is though, like I think we talked about this the last time about how AI can only do so much in terms of creativity. Like it's not good at coming up with jokes and material. And
that's the thing
like
is
that.
like,
And
so that stand-up video, the prompt was they didn't provide the joke. They were like, come up with a joke and And the joke was like likely because it's Google. It's likely trained on, YouTube, all of YouTube, every video that's ever been uploaded to YouTube. So my guess is someone uploaded that joke at some point to YouTube. Maybe not a comedian, maybe just someone saying it to camera, and that's the one they used. But yeah, it's never going to replace comedy in that sense, because it's, at the end of the day, it's just like it's trained. There is an inherent humanness to comedy, and maybe I'm just kind of talking my own book here, and I'm just like, I hope it doesn't replace us. But I mean, people still like, yeah, people still like going to live shows and all that stuff, and
they like to go to clubs. They like to go to comedy clubs. They like to see the comedians and talk and meet.
Yeah, people still like doing stuff, and there's something about like, I mean, look, if you know this isn't real, this isn't a real person. There's even an added element where you're like, what even is this?
Of course.
But I could definitely see it replacing stuff like, I mean, like any commercial shit. Like, you know, I don't see a reason why fucking McDonald's can't make a commercial with AI. And you go, we just made a commercial for $3,000 that would have cost us $200,000. There's no residuals, no royalties, no crew. Like, you just make it. And I don't see why they can't do that. And, you know, there's tons of commercial stuff.
Like, sure, like everybody went to see, I mean, I went to see Mission Impossible this past weekend, and the theater was packed. Like, so people love the live experience of going somewhere, whether it's a theater or a club. And also too, like one of the I think things about that movie is that people kind of know that Tom Cruise did his own stunts. And like one thing about that, whether you really care about that or not, like one of the things is like some people do like the idea of seeing something that's really been done.
Right.
Whether like, if they know it's all fake and all just CGI'd or AI'd or whatever, it's like there's an element to that where you're like, I don't really enjoy this as much because I know that it just wasn't.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, it's just like not quite, just doesn't quite do it for you. There's I mean, there definitely will probably be, I've heard other people say this, but like all this AI stuff will probably cause like an increase in people wanting to just do more real world stuff. Like, the more this becomes prevalent, which it will, like this is going to take over. There's no question at this point. Like, again, we're only, like ChatGPT only launched like 2 summers ago. Like we're still like so early into this shit. And, you know, like, I mean, someone posted from that VO3 thing, like the Will Smith eating spaghetti. And they showed it versus, and it's like, it looks like Will Smith eating spaghetti, and it's got sound and everything. Like it's a way.
Well, they're already doing these. They're doing these horrible videos that are like engagement farming, of course, but like where they'll show like a woman trying to get a dog on a plane, and the dog is obviously AI, and like 90% of the people commenting think the video is real.
Oh, for sure. I mean, boomers have Facebook boomers have no fucking shot right now. They are
oh god,
zero chance of dealing with this. This is too much, too fast for them. Like they have no chance. But yeah, the AI stuff is. I mean, I couldn't even tell you what it's going to look like in 2 years, but I know that it's going to be the most disruptive thing we've ever seen in our lives. Way more.
Yeah, I just kind of wanted to see what and people you knew, like how other comedians were looking at it or thinking about it.
I mean, it's not like unless it's like the only real benefit to a comedian would be like, yo, can this write me a new hour? And because no comedian wants it to perform it for them, because again, it's like it's not even fun. Like we like performing, so like you don't want to lose. You want to perform it. The real benefit could be like, could this just write me a new hour? And I haven't seen anything even remotely close to being able to write a usable joke. Like I don't know anybody good who is like, I've gotten anything out of this. Maybe some fucking open mic hacks are like, yeah, I fucking wrote my whole act, and you're like,
I can't imagine.
It seems like you did.
Like Jim Norton, I don't know if you've seen his new show, the Jim Norton Can't Save You. And he does the Chat GPT thing, and even he was saying like, wow, this is just not. These jokes are not good, you know?
No, they're terrible. They're terrible. But I mean, maybe give it 5 years. I don't know. Like maybe in 5 years, you'll be able to input like if you have like a large body of work as a comedian, like you'll be able to just input all your shit, and it'll get it'll be able to map out exactly what you're like kind of what you would say, I guess. I don't know. I suppose it's possible.
Well, I hope not. And I'm just glad. I'm glad you're still doing your show, and keep it up. Yeah, I hope you still do the bathhouse too.
Yeah, we're doing bathhouse tomorrow night. The problem has been with the stand, unfortunately. But I'm gonna be moving it to. I need to find a new location where I can just that's more reliable because the stand's starting to become a little unreliable, unfortunately. But it's nothing to do with me. It's just that's what's going on. So that'll be the new iteration of it once we figure it out. Yeah. All right, man. I gotta let you go.
Thanks for taking my call.
Always a pleasure talking to you. Charlie from Florida, everybody. All right, 2 more callers. We have Pants, everybody. He called in last week, and he said he didn't read the chat. Pants, what's up, man?
Hey, what's up, Danny?
How you doing?
Doing well. Yourself?
I'm good. Got no complaints.
Man, so it's always weird hearing the recounting of people's, like, COVID experiences. I had like siblings who lived in the city that during all that time, and it was like traveling to a different world anytime I'd visit the city and have to deal with all of the lockdowns and the requirements, the COVID cards. Like,
New York was fucking crazy. New York was especially crazy.
Oh, dude, my sister lived in downtown LA during all of that, and
I bet that was bad.
Yeah, no, it was a nightmare.
Dude, I remember we were eating at there was this one restaurant in the East Village we would always go to because their patio stayed open later than they were allowed to past curfew. And then they set up these like on their patio because it was right on like 13th Street, and they set up these like fencing so you like couldn't see. And then one night it was like, you know, a packed patio, this Japanese restaurant, like, I don't know, 40 cops showed up to like basically shut the place down. Like literally the restaurant like didn't make anybody pay their bills. They were just like, everybody leave.
That's
like
insane.
It was crazy. Yeah. For like a restaurant outdoor. We weren't even indoors, but it was just like, there was just a curfew.
I took a trip out to Colorado during all of I think it was 2021 or 22. And I'd been going to Colorado like every other summer my entire life. And when I tried to go to Rocky Mountain National Park and just visit, you know, drive through there, you could not get in the park without having a reservation.
Yeah.
It's like, how many thousands of miles does that national park cover?
Yeah, exactly.
It's like there's nobody there.
Yeah, it's honestly so that you don't have like people standing near each other at like a fucking bathroom or something.
Yeah.
Potentially. Yeah. I mean, that shit was crazy. Like, you know, everybody looks back on it now and they're like, that was fucking nuts.
Well, I mean.
And it didn't do anything. Like, that's the main thing is if you look back on it and you go, hey, maybe like some of this stuff, it didn't do anything. Nothing.
No,
like,
not at
like there was no shortage of people who were like, stories are like, I did everything right. I wore a mask all the time. I have hand sanitizer and I still got COVID twice.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, thankfully during that point, I'm living in a very small town, about 2,000 people. It's a big tourist town. So, I mean, COVID was the busiest year of our life.
Right.
Like our
everybody went there.
Yep. There was no restrictions, no mask mandates. I mean, nothing changed here. So I mean, we could barely keep up. And at that point it was just me and my mother running our business, and like none of the employees wanted to leave or come in or anything. And yeah, I mean, it was I've never made more money in my life than 2020 and 2021.
I mean, that's the funny thing about COVID is COVID for some people literally destroyed their businesses, and for other people they're like, it was a absolute godsend.
Oh yeah. It was tight.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was just definitely a weird time to look back on. But I did want to touch back on what Slav was saying earlier. What happens when a business turns in a counterfeit $20 bill, say,
Yeah.
We get a phone call from the bank just to let us know that our deposit's $20 short because there was a counterfeit bill, and that's
what I got when I deposited. They just called me and they go, "Hey, your deposit had counterfeit money in it, so we didn't deposit it." I go, "Okay."
I mean, if there's like $1,000 worth of counterfeit bills, then you'll probably get something a little more.
Yeah,
But,
exactly. if there's like a lot and they go, "How the fuck did you not catch all of these? This seems like something's up here." But yeah, if you have like a stack of 20s and a couple of them are fake, they're just like, yeah. I'm sure that happens in businesses nonstop all across America every day.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, we've taken more than one counterfeit bill in our our time, and it's never been an issue.
No. I mean, how could that be held against you? You're like, I don't know. We don't check $5 bills.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyways, Pants, I gotta let you go, man. But thank you for calling in.
Absolutely.
Pants, everybody. Small business owner. All right, last call of the night, Robert. We're going to spin the wheel after this. Thank you very much, everybody, for joining me. And thank you very much, everybody, for waiting on the line patiently. Robert, last call of the night. What do you want to talk about?
What's up, Dan? How we doing?
I'm very good. Very good.
Late at night. I just wanted, before I hang up, I just wanted to ask what you thought about the LeBron Glazers these days. You know about them?
The LeBron Glazers?
Yeah, it's getting out of control, Danny.
I mean, I never understood. I know he has like some personality things that rub people the wrong way.
No. This isn't like related to him. This is like his fans that like go on Instagram and post videos and reels and like they make credits and shit about how they want, like, I'm talking like dudes with wives, kids, like families. Straight guys, like, and they talk and they seriously want LeBron to clap their cheeks. It's freaking weird, man.
What? That's fucking...
I guess you're not.
I have not got that algorithm yet. I don't, like I mentioned, I don't spend a lot of time on Instagram, so
you need to go from TikTok to Instagram Reels. You'll see. It's weird, man.
I saw the I haven't seen that. Dude, and there's just all these dudes who just want LeBron to fuck them.
Or to fuck LeBron, one or the other. It's not, I don't get it. It's
I mean,
weird.
The most charitable thing I could understand is you're like, I want him to impregnate my wife so that I could raise his child.
Have
his genetics.
No,
they
want to have his child.
How would you even find? And they're serious.
It's pretty weird. Oh, I'm dead serious. This is
all right. DM me one of those reels. DM me one of these reels so that I can see what you're talking about, because I've never seen this. I imagine once I look at one, they'll show me a lot. But like the fact this isn't like an ironic tongue-in-cheek thing. This is.
Oh no. Well, I mean, it's tongue-in-cheek until it is the entirety of Instagram at this point.
What? Man, I got a different Instagram, and that's the funny thing about Instagram is you could be like, have you seen like these crazy reels?
I'm talking like people putting their daughters in timeout because they won't say LeBron's the GOAT. Like it's.
Well, that's different, but putting your daughter in a timeout is, I mean, that's crazy, but to be like, I want LeBron James to fuck my ass.
Yeah, I'll send you. I'm talking like 68,000 likes, Danny.
Oh my God. I mean,
like just all of them. It's bad. Yeah. It's bad.
Okay.
All right. I just sent it to you.
All right.
So actually, I need to follow you on my new Instagram account. I deleted my old one.
Okay. Well, follow me. I'll peep it out. I'll have a look and I'll get back to you and I'll let you know what I think. All right, Robert. I gotta go. I gotta wrap this show up. But appreciate
yeah. No worries.
Thank you,
Danny.
Appreciate it, Robert. Everybody. All right, we're gonna spin the wheel. One of you will win. I think you guys all have Patreon, so I'll just re-up you. Just hit me, or I can give it away to somebody else. I can give it to one of the free members. The winner is Anton. Anton, everybody. Shout out to Anton. Thank you for the super chats. All right, that's been the show, everybody. Happy Memorial Day. That was a fun one. Shout out to our lovely producer, Mark. Can't do it without him. Godspeed, everybody. Have a happy Memorial Day. Happy George Floyd anniversary. Floydiversary. That has been Low Value Mail for this Monday, May 26th, 2025. If you want to support the show, patreon.com/lowvaluemail, or get a free subscription, just use my link below. If you're listening on Spotify, that link will be there as well. Click the link, make an Instagram account. I don't even think you need to follow me. Send me a DM from your new account, and I'll send you a 6-month patreon.com low value mail membership. All right, everybody. That's been the show. Good shit. We'll see you next week. And new episode of The Bathhouse tomorrow night, God willing. Hopefully the stand obliges. I don't think they have anything on their schedule, so I think we should be good. But we'll see. But plan for it for now. Good night, everybody.
Really a poet, you know it, all my shit heroic. Empathic abilities, yeah, my face be also stoic. Bleep, blow up, nigga, that just means I'm working. They see me as a leader, so that's why I'm Captain Kirkin. These tracks from the stars, that much is for certain. You can feel this hit if you up or if you hurtin'. I'm raising my stock, not talking my feet in some Birkin. Number Johnny 5, got a fucking short circuit. Bring the track to life when I spit phenomenally. When I hit, she feel that shit in her abdominals. These rappers make me laugh like comic view, they comical. You know I got a ball out, I hit the track running just like Sonic do. They don't wanna turn on my light switch. Yeah, they was trying to get me on my hype shit. Yeah, they don't wanna turn on my light switch. Yeah, then they tried to down me up some KO type shit. Yeah, they don't wanna turn on my light switch. Yeah, now we pulling up fresh on some flight shit. They don't wanna turn on my light switch. Yeah, they don't wanna turn on my light switch. They don't wanna turn on my light switch. Yeah, they was trying to get me on my hype shit. Yeah, they don't wanna turn on my light switch. Yeah, then they tried to down me up some KO type shit. Yeah, they don't wanna turn on my light switch. Yeah, now we pulling up fresh on some flight shit.